Hello. I'm Cyberchrome. Okay, hello. I am back doing Unity programming things. Let me start on not an empty scene. I'll explain what I'm doing there in a second. Let's start on something that looks a little bit more interesting, I guess. So first of all, I am, no. In my last setup, okay, great start, can't words. In my last stream, I had said that I have a new setup, and that's all cool and stuff. And now it's finally complete. I spent many weeks trying to track down a single screw, so that was fun, in order to be able to have one of my monitors able to exist without falling over. So that was fun. But yeah, so now Cyberchroma Stream 2.0 is a go. No, I can, I guess, in a way, go like. So this was a. Hold on, one sec. Actually, let's get background music going. Yeah. There, and this over. 1 second. Over here is not a good before picture. This is essentially what my old setup looked like. Very 3 monitors of inconsistent sizes, and although that was after I'd like moved my computer and a lot of my cords and my old microphone and webcam out of the way, and this is what it's looking like now. Although ignore the lighting, I think because these are bright and trying to overcompensate. Both of the pictures had the exact same lighting in terms of the surroundingness. Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's cool, and that's what you're seeing now. This is what we're working with. So that's cool and all. Yeah. I did say that, well, my next steps in terms of improving my setup is that I want to change my lights, actually have white lights instead of yellow lights. So that's next thing. And another just generally, yeah, trying to improve my lighting or whatever. Yeah. And I have a lamp right over there. It's like doing a tiny bit. Not much though. So there's that. And then far off, I plan on getting a new desk. So that's cool and all. Instead of being on this L, being it like completely straight, I think I would prefer. So yeah, those are work in progress things. Anyways, yeah, so that's cool and all. So what are we doing here today? Actually, first, to lead into that, I just want to say a cool thing that I did is actually figuring out in OBS how to have multiple tracks in... how to have multiple tracks in OBS for when you're recording, so that the recording comes out. So I have like my microphone, and i.e. my voice, and the like background music being on 2 different audio tracks. So I can do that now. So that's cool, and will be useful for more video. It doesn't change stream stuff at all, but for video things, I can do that now. So that's cool. And for Tesco, hello, hi, welcome to the stream. Just give my introductory spiel of rambling as I usually do. Yeah, setup cool, did cool OBS things. Yeah, so what are we doing here today? I'm attempting to do a coding challenge thing. Basically, I'm not ready to continue streaming doing the Hand-Me-Down Unicycle stuff yet, but I want to keep streaming doing stuff, and this is stuff. I am still, actually, I guess I can bring up, actually, I don't know if it's changed much since, but hold on, one sec. This and over here. Hand-Me-Down Unicycle demo planning. I've added a bit to it, changed some stuff around since you guys have maybe last seen it, but it is still a work in progress. Although my next steps in terms of this is actually not with this document. It's I am now trying to start actually doing my attempt at level design with my submarine thing. So I'm still sorting out a lot of that. Yeah, that's an ongoing process. In the meantime, I wanted to do a thing that I kind of wanted to do for a little bit anyways, which is, I guess I'm calling Cyberchroma Coding Challenge. Actually, I guess I should start the recording here. So in OBS, I have streaming and recording. I'm gonna actually attempt for once, yeah, do both at the same time. And we'll see how that affects my CPU and all that. No, it should be fine. Yeah, because actually I'm gonna close the Hand-Me-Down Unicycle. Don't need that open for right now. I actually meant to hit the start recording button like right as I went out of my intro thing, but oh well. So before I do that, my plan is to, like, this might be my first attempt at, or not might, it will be, I guess, my first attempt at having stream content that might get edited into a YouTube video or something. I have no idea how that's gonna go. I just thought it's something that I wanted to try. Or more so, thing I want to do anyway, and then we'll see if I can, well, if I can turn it into like a video or something. We'll see. I have no idea. Trying things because I can. Yeah, anyways. I don't know. See, I kind of just did an intro and then didn't, start recording on that, so I have to give another one that's more YouTube-ified. I'm not going full YouTuber with this. I'm good. I don't need to do the whole, like, clickbait thumbnail faces. I'm good on that. But, yeah, well, actually, I do need to introduce what I'm actually doing in terms of the Unity stuff, so we're gonna start with that. Alright. Yeah, starting recording. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not good. Oh. Are you gonna stabilize? The FPS is wonky now. Okay. That's concerning. If I stop, you're gonna... Okay, when I joked about it, how much it was gonna might tank my CPU, I was kind of joking. Hold on. Might have to do more experimenting on that. It is on my to-do list that eventually I want to get a new computer. I mean, the computer I have is pretty decent. But yeah, okay. Well, I actually that is an unexpected development. So okay, I might have to ditch that idea, or ditch the idea of recording while streaming because that ain't gonna cut it. For now, I'm looking at like settings and stuff and is experimenting with things. Might have to do more tampering with it. So. Yeah. I mean, what I can do is just literally take the VOD and edit that. The main thing I was hoping to get out of it, though, was that my vocals and the background audio are going to be together as one audio file by not doing that. It's being a little stuttery. It's fine. Hopefully. Probably. Yeah, interesting. You know what, whatever, we're just gonna do this anyways, I will not do the recording thing, and we'll just see where this goes. So, hello, what are we doing here today? I am doing a coding challenge, a Cyberchroma coding challenge, as I'm so deciding. I like the alliteration of being 4 words that start with a C, I guess. But yeah, so I want to start this little series thing that I do occasionally. We'll see how occasionally this is. Where effectively I just say, I want to code blah, and I start a new Unity project and I try to make blah. Best explained with an example. Today I want to try just making, remaking Super Mario Galaxy Spherical Planet Gravity and seeing how that goes. Over the course of one stream. Now, I don't have a lot of time right now, so we'll see how that goes. You know, maybe some days where I dedicate an entire day to whatever the challenge is. Right now it's going to be only a few hours, so we'll see how that goes. And in general, I imagine most of these are going to be me taking a mechanic from a game and trying to recreate it in some fashion. We'll see how far we go with it. Like, there'd be a point that could technically meet the definition of completing the challenge, then I could try to, you know, tweak it and tamper with it going beyond that. In regards to any other rules, I'm going to make up stuff as I go and change things as I wish. Like, I'm thinking that for all of these, I would start with a blank Unity project, and I'm going to try to not... have the rule that I'm not allowed to, like, take code from my, other projects or whatever. Because I could do that for certain things, potentially. But I'm going to see if I can not do that. Start fresh every time. Now, maybe, depending on the challenge, that would be very unnecessary. Maybe it would be best to have some kind of a starting point, or whatever. Or maybe even from different coding challenges, I pull stuff in from that. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We'll see. I basically just decided I was going to actually do this. I had this kind of idea for a while, but decided I was actually going to do this today. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's get started. So, Mario Gravity. First, I'm just going to start by making some folders, as I maybe should have done beforehand, but... if I can spell, off to a great start. Scripts. Now, I don't need it to look pretty for it to work, but I'm going to make some basic materials. Okay, spelling. Yeah. And I'll make materials as we go. I could just, like, make a bunch of potential materials right now. I'll make stuff as we go. Oh, yeah, I also didn't mention, so normally I'm in this scene where I have those numbers up there. For now, I want to try not having them just because I can. Well, originally it was going to be like, for video, I'd rather not have the inconsistency of numbers going up and down. No, whatever. I don't know. I thought this would be cleaner a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try this out for now. I didn't delete the other one, so it is still there and kicking around. Okay, so I guess Mario Gravity. I picked this coding challenge as the first one because going into it, I already have a pretty good idea of how we're going to achieve it. I guess the first thing we should do is create a sphere. Sounds like a good place to start. That is the planet. We'll see with some of these, like, I don't know how much, it'll just turn into me Googling a lot of how to do things, but we'll see. For this one, I like to think that I can do a decent job without Googling, but we'll see. I could be catastrophically wrong. No, not that. Make a quick little material. See, what's going to be cool about this is because part of it is because I'm limiting myself to well, I say I'm going to limit myself to the duration of the stream to finish the goal. That'll, said that can change. It's going to force me to have to work faster. I can't spend all this time tweaking a bunch of little things or whatever. I got to get going if I want to actually, finish things or whatever. I am going to still try to put times in materials and all that because I don't want to just be looking at everything being white for hours on end, but yeah. Anyways, next we'll need a player of some kind that's going to be a capsule, because that's usually what you do with players. Not a cylinder, a capsule, I said. Blah. Call this player. Also, yeah, so the idea with this is this would be like a one-off thing. I make this and then I'm done with it or whatever. Any ideas of things I make with this, that could be like, ooh, that's a really cool idea. That turned out really well. I might copy some of that code and put it in my own game somewhere or something like that. So that'd be cool to have this repertoire of different little things that I made. But yeah, also cool to just make thing, finish it, move on to the next thing. Having all these mini projects that I finished. That's a cool thing I'm hoping to get out of this. So, player. I guess we'll make a player color. Make it... You know what? Because we're copying Mario, let's make it red. I was going to make it blue. Let's go red for Mario. Usually I reserve red for hazards, but this game doesn't have hazards, so I can use red however I want. Okay, so the planet, well, doesn't necessarily have to do anything. We'll see. Actually, so if I were to have different planets that you were jumping on that had different levels of gravity or whatever, they'd have to have their own scripts that are mainly just housing those variables and all that. For now, we're going to start with the player, and I guess we're just going to make... See, also, I don't have... To a degree, I want to write clean code-ish, but I don't have to worry that much about this super amazing, well-written code. Basically, like you're in a game jam. You just make it work as quickly as possible. That's the idea. Player... I don't want to just call it player controller. I usually dislike doing that. I'd like to have individual scripts that control different parts of it, of the player. Spherical gravity. And also, worth mentioning that right now we're going for the most basic version of this mechanic that is on a spherical planet. Visual Studios is trying to open. That's been a bit framey. That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna go with the most basic version of this mechanic. It's just one sphere, you'll walk in a circle. I might have to do camera stuff, but I'll probably go with like a very simple camera that is just, parenting it to the player. And then the player turns and, yeah, that'll be fine. I guess because the focus of this is on the gravity part of it, I'll try not to focus too much on the player and camera, because as you guys know with Unicycle, I can go really far, really in-depth into player and camera mechanics, but that's not the aim of what we're doing, so we're not going to do that. But anyway, so right now we're going to start with, probably should have opened Visual Studios beforehand. Oh well, it's fine. We're starting with just a spherical planet, getting the player to move around it. And I think the main thing that we're going to be doing with this is just, controlling gravity. Actually, if I wanted to leverage Unity to do a lot of this for me as I can, I mean, one, I'm going to be using rigid body stuff. I might just specifically under file, or under project settings, and go to this while I'm waiting. Anyway, yep. Visual Studios is still taking its time. Oh, okay, that is window trying to open, but also Visual Studios, I think, is taking all the resources. If you could not, that would be great. Under physics, we got a gravity property here. And I think for now, we're just gonna, like, change this to sort of point from the player to the middle of the sphere. For this closed system of the player and, like, of these two objects, that would in theory work. This has problems, of course, when there's anything else that's meant to be having different gravity things. In fact, saying that out loud, I was about to say that I would, like, make it work like this and then change it, make it better, but it might be better off just skipping straight to a better version that could, in theory, support multiple objects. Because maybe we will get to that point of having, you know, the player and then, like, a few, like, boxes or something that all are suctioning to this planet. And then, you know, if I wanted to go further than that, we could have, you know, it not be a perfect sphere. This would get a lot more difficult, though, I think. Well, I mean, in a way, I would still be applying gravity towards the center of the planet, and that might kind of work. Again, though, assuming that it's a sphere, if we get into weirder shapes, then that becomes more complicated. Mario Galaxy's whole gravity thing does, in some cases, get really complicated. I mean, you have, like, 2 spheres and all that, and you can jump between them. Also, the idea of you have, like, surfaces that kind of go in, like, a slope shape, where you kind of do this motion and just walk along it and up. That's also a complicated thing. I don't think we're going to go that far today. I could, you know, as I make up the rules for this, I could have a coding challenge B, pick this up again, make it better to implement some of those more complicated mechanics. Have I stalled enough yet? Oh, I think it's open now. You know, maybe work. There you go. Ta-da. Coding. Yeah. Okay, so where are we starting with this? Also, I'm going to close you. So where are we starting with this? Getting a rigid body. As what would make sense. So, private rigid body, RB, as you do. We do need the player to, like, move to test this out. For now, if we're just focusing on the gravity thing, I can just drag them around the inspector, I guess. Again, the goal is to focus on what the challenge is, try to have minimal of the beginner setup. So, fixed update. What we're probably going to be using. I'll actually assign the reference. That would be a good thing to do. Almost forgot to do that entirely. Okay, RB, and then RB.addForce, blah. Yeah. So, with some force, of course. Now, what is this going to be? If we're looking at just the force that is towards the center, let's actually kind of split this up into multiple lines here. And of course, I'm not just doing the challenge, I'm talking through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because that can be helpful and all that sort of stuff. Actually, I'm also just looking at it. I might zoom this in a bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go like that, so that it's easier to see for you guys. I mean, I can see it like this. I mean, I prefer not to, but, you know, we'll go something like this. Let's call this gravity force. Technically, I mean, gravity direction. If I want to use what would be the physics term, I can be... Whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So this equals something. If we were to start with regular default gravity, we would have vector3 dot down times some amount. I guess for now we'll go times 9.81 81 meters per second squared. That is real life gravity. Yeah. If we wanted to have different planets having different amounts of gravity, you know, there's possibilities, there's things that we can do, but for now, yeah. So this alone would, in theory, apply gravity in a downwards direction. Now, I actually think, as I said before that I might pull off of the other gravity from the physics thing. I'm actually going to immediately change my mind on that for the reasons that I said. Like, I'd have to redo it later. If I want to basically hijack gravity, I basically want my own gravity. So we're going to start with just... Yeah, having rigid body, gravity off. leave mass and drag as they are for now until I see reason to change those things. Rotation's gonna be interesting, because another thing I want to do is actually turn the player towards the center, like towards where they're going. So that'll be interesting. I might set that directly. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want the player to fall over right now when they shouldn't. So for now, I'm gonna freeze it, all that until I see reason not to. Let's also add the script, because that's kind of a requirement here. And unless I've missed something, let's just see what this does. Now, yeah, the camera being in the sphere is not going to be helpful for us. So if I move the player up, wow, look at that falling. Wow. And they can fall off, of course, because gravity ain't spherical yet. So, yeah. Cool. That's a good start. Of course, yeah, starting simple and slowly getting more complicated. I can also close things I do not need to be open right now. Okay, so where do we go from here? Yeah, so gravity direction is not going to be vector 2 dot down. Essentially, for now, all I care about is is this part. This is just a magnitude, although that could be influenced by how far away the center is or something like that. We're just going to have it be like Earth gravity in terms of how much it's being applied. And we're just going to focus on the direction and have it be normalized, probably. Actually, if we didn't normalize it, if we just went off of the direction, that would do something interesting where the further we were away, it would get larger and thus it would apply more force. That's interesting. That's not what we want, but that's an interesting thing. The further away you get, the more it applies. It's like reverse magnets. Or, I mean, literally reverse what gravity is. It should be the further away you get, the less you're being affected by gravitational pull, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, so we're gonna not do that. We're just gonna normalize it. I think we can get like the reciprocal of whatever, it's fine. So we got the direction of like towards the thing we're trying to fall towards. For now, I'm just gonna say we're gonna make that a variable. We're gonna actually make it a real quick drag and drop reference. Public game object, sure. Transform. I only need your position. Planet. Also, we're gonna assume just one planet for right now. Yeah, as I keep repeating, we're starting small, making, like, this is a good way for stuff like this to not be too overwhelming with, like, this big complicated thing that I'm trying to do. You split it in small chunks, you make a small portion of it work, make it work properly, and then slowly expand out. So, like, we're assuming one planet, we're assuming just one thing that we're trying to have stick to one planet, and then we might, increase from there if we want to have 2 planets that are influencing us. Yeah, so gravity direction is going to be, instead, we want our distance to the planet. We just need to get a vector that points towards the planet. A good way of doing that is just use a fancy function. Well, I'm about to say to use vector 3.distance. That's not how that is. That'd be getting the distance between the planet. We want the direction towards the planet. And that's just a matter of subtracting vectors. So we can get transform dot. Actually, we want to get the planet's transform dot position minus our transform dot position. I always, no matter how many times I get directions, I always forget which way it should be to get the result that I want, or it'll be in the exact opposite direction, but kind of in the way that I want. I think I have it right here. Yeah, so this is the direction we want to be. I guess I should do dot normalized to not have the problem I was just mentioning, and then have it be Earth gravity enough, and then apply that. All right, I'll drag and drop Mr. Planet here, and we'll go from there. Might make camera better eventually, but it's fine. So, if I do this, is this working? So we're not turning towards the planet yet, but ta-da! I think we basically got it. Yeah, woo. All right, that is Earth gravity. Huzzah! This is exactly how it works in Mario Galaxy. I'm very sure. No, I mean, probably some similar principles, but take that and make it 1,000,000 times more complex was the joke I was going for. Yeah. So, woo, we got gravity. I guess that's video done. I guess that's challenge over. Not really. The point was to start small, and now let's, you know, make this better, shall we? I mean, one, we're doing this in the editor, so it would be nice to probably whip up some quick character controlling to move around the planet. Before I even do that, I think I want to try just getting the character to point towards the planet. And I know that'd get messy if we tried to use torque for that. So I think for now we're going to do it very simply by just transform moving. Yeah, so we're just going to start with that and see if it works and then kind of go from there. Let me actually go out of play mode because I should do that. Also, before I go any further, I'm just going to parent the camera under the player so that they move together for now. This works. Don't need to go through the whole camera pivot setup. Something like along these lines. Kind of might angle it down like more so you can get the turn-in, or I don't know, whatever. Have to be from decently far away. Let's go, because I want to put exact numbers in here because I feel like it. Something along those lines. Good enough for me. Yeah. Okay, so rotating. Transform.rotation equals blah is how we're going to start this. And then we might smooth it out with a quaternion.slurp. That's spherical linear interpolation. Yeah. Which is linear interpolation, but for angles, so that things work better rotationally and going around like 0 and 360 degrees and stuff like that, I think. Anyways, transfer.rotation. What do we need it to be? So we need the... I guess actually, if I was fine with just setting it directly, I can actually go transform.up equals the direction of that is this. So I might actually stick this in its own vector, because I am going to probably need that anyway, the direction towards the center. Deer towards planet center. I don't need variable names to be that descriptive, but we're good. It's fine. Better too descriptive than not descriptive enough, I would say. I'll make it a little bit shorter. Deer to planet center is blah, and then normalize that. Actually, I will normalize it here because it's just the direction. We don't care about its magnitude. Okay, so that would do that. If I just go transfer.up equals this, is that actually gonna work? Usually I don't do this as a way to turn the player. But. Okay, the camera did things. Oh wait, towards the planet center means that they're turning, the top of them is in. Wow, okay. I'll admit, I am surprised. Awesome. And if I move them at high speeds, I know some of that velocity is, you know, having lasting effects, which is fine. I like the smoothness of that. Okay, so make this exactly not that. I want the direction away from the planet center to, I mean, this is symmetrical up, down, but if this is the top, which we can know from the camera, then yeah, woo, awesome. Oh, it's so cool. Frankly, I thought just doing this would take longer. That's awesome. Of course, if I wanted that turning to be smoother, then I could attempt to do such things. I mean, well, yeah. It's because of how gradual the turning would be anyway, especially on a big planet, it would already be a little bit smooth. Also, it not being smooth could, in a way, be a problem in and of itself. If I'm not turning fast enough with the way that I'm going, that could be its own issue. Although I could have it be smooth with like a high amount of smoothing or whatever, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, actually, this is a get set thing. I can just I'm talking about it like I can't do that. I totally can. I can just go vector3.lerp from whatever you are This is weird. In terms of rotations, I do not usually do this. I would modify the rotation directly, but you know what? I don't need to. I don't need to. Especially if I'm trying to whip up something quick. Some smoothing value. I'll make a like float, rotation, smoothing. Especially for public variables, I like to have them be more descriptive. Yeah. Also, I don't think I'll need these. We'll see. Only if I'm making lists or coroutines and stuff like that. This rotation smoothing. I like to add in whatever smoothing I'm putting in, multiplying it by time to delta time. That's really not super necessary here. And I guess also, now that I'm also looking at it, that is not a physics thing, so that should just be in normal update because that's how that works. Usually you should have physics stuff in fixed update and everything else in normal update, especially doing player input things. You do not want an input.getKey down in fixed update. You will get dropped inputs, and that's not fun. Input.getKey, that's going to be like true for long periods of time. That's much easier to get away with, but yeah, the single frame true things are not. What am I not? Oh, right. Oops. Yeah, I guess I will make you a private variable. To be used by both functions. Private, blah. That works. I will clean this up a little bit. I usually like to have data type stuff and then references. And public before private things. Yeah. I also do not usually put the word private in my variable, or in my function names. Okay. When you get back to Unity, let things do as they do. And this should... Oh, wait. Actually, it's not going to do anything at the moment because the rotation smoothing is 0. If I put this up to, like, 10, let's say. Yeah, look at that. Probably barely noticeable at the moment, but I think when we're moving, it should, in theory, be smoother. Yeah, so that's cool. Let's go to play mode. 10. Awesome. Very cool, very cool. Let's make it better. That only took 35 minutes. Cool. I purposely, as I said, picked a first challenge that was on the easier side and something that I thought, like that I already had an idea going into it of how I was gonna do it. So yeah, cool. Okay, so improving this, I think we'll take a quick detour from this and get player controls to be a thing. I think that seems fair. I could put it in this same script. I think for cleanliness of coding, we'll put it in another script. This, call it like player movement. Or it can be player input, whatever, it's fine. Okay, yep, that's doing its thing. Any minute now. So, okay, while I'm waiting for this, I don't know why it's taking so long, but whatever. So, plan is to WASD, and for now I won't worry about camera controls. We'll just go for, like, the camera being parented onto the player moves with the player. Yeah, I think that'll be fine for now. Maybe it could, well, it already will face their forward direction as a result of that, so that's taken care of. Okay, so let's do that. In update, the thing I just said about wanting to get player input things in update, so we're gonna do that. So if input dot get key down, actually get key holding it. As I said, we'll go with WASD as a standard input method. W, and then we're gonna, I guess I'm gonna get the rigid body again. Private rigid body, RB. And then start get that reference. Okay. Then, well, see, I could, in theory, go like rigid body to add force, blah, but as I just said, not usually good to have that there. So, next update, it would be better to sort of set up what needs to happen from movement here to then actually apply it down here. Well, I actually could use get key in fix update. It would be fine, but for good programming principles a little bit, I will try to have that not be the case. So this should be setting some numbers that then this is using down here. So let's make some numbers, shall we? Private. Let's go with a vector 2. Funny thing is I could go with a vector 4, that'd be kind of interesting, but no. A vector 2 for horizontal, left, right, and vertical for up, down. Up, down in terms of W and S, not like, because gravity is out the window here, so horizontal, I can't think of a second word for that, so we'll just do that. Private vector 2 vertical. Well, yeah, that's fine. So horizontal equals 1. And then else, blah. Oh, dot, wait. Sorry, that's not actually what I meant to... I did half of 2 ideas. There's either one vector 2 that has both numbers, the horizontal and the vertical, or 2 floats, is the ideas that I was going back and forth on. We're going to do the floats idea, because that's kind of more what I intended. Okay, else if. Same thing, but for S. They say you shouldn't copy code, but this is a perfectly fine example of that, because it's copying to change. Horizontal is -1, is how that's going to do. And then, well, actually not else if, this is going to be just else. Then horizontal equals 0. Horizontal input, I think, would be even more descriptive. And vertical input is what will be there. And also, I'm just realizing that this should be vertical because of the things that I've just said. I'm not following through with my own plans. Whoops, it's fine. So we'll go D and A here, and then, yeah. Horizontal, blah, blah, and blah. Very similar format, just the other way around. And I have no reason to do this, but I'll put this in the same order that it kind of appears in code-ish. Okay, so we have made these numbers, but we have not done anything with them, so let's do that. Down here, go rigid body dot... We're gonna add force again. Surprise, shocker. Now, how are we gonna apply this force? So actually, well, eventually it'll actually probably have to do with the camera. This will actually get a bit more complicated to know the direction to apply everything. Maybe for now, we'll just take the player's forward direction and we'll just do kind of like tank controls. That'll work for the W and S anyway. Maybe it should be W and S. W and S move forward and backwards. Well, AD could like turn. No, no, we'll do. As I'm deciding how I want to do this. No, yeah, we'll do. We're just moving in the direction of WSD. Yeah, that works. That should be fine like that. However, we do need to, in order to add force, I do need to make basically a new vector 3. Vector 3 that is move direction equals new vector 3 based on the X. That's going to be our left and right, so that's going to be our horizontal. Our Y is going to be 0, and then our forward and back is going to be vertical. Now, this would work. This will work if we had flat gravity. Unfortunately, this ain't going to work for, you know, how we're currently set up. I can go and test if just what we've written right now will, you know, seeing how it works, but it's not going to fully work. I just add that there. Actually, I'm gonna put it first because I feel like it. So going into play mode, we should maybe see. Oh wait, we're gonna move very slow. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. We're gonna add a speed, public float speed, and that I am going to. Actually, I'm also gonna. For the same reason, I'm just gonna get rid of all that. Okay, blah. We're gonna move direction. Keep direction being the direction to go. This actually should be normalized, because that's usually good to do. Because otherwise, we'd have a situation where moving diagonally would be slightly faster than moving in any of the cardinal directions. In this case, we want to move the same speed in every direction, so that's why we normalize that there. Speed, I have no idea. Let's try 10. Okay, probably also would be a good idea for us to mess with like gravity and stuff like that. Woo! So now that's interesting. The gravity and the player input is kind of fighting each other. That is kind of cool. I knew this wasn't going to work, but the way that this isn't working is I think it's neat. Yeah. So yeah, how about not that? So how we need this to actually work instead, basically take this and sort of make it relative to the player. Now we can do that by, I guess we'll do this on another line because we can. Do I remember how this works? Actually, I'm gonna do this in a slightly different way. Doing it this way and then making change could work, but because I can, I'm gonna do this in a different way. I'm basically gonna go transform.forward times horizontal input plus transform.right plus vertical input. And this is a way of doing this, I think. You're not happy with this? Oh no, I have this slightly wrong. Oh no. I've done this kind of thing before, but not exactly like this. I'm missing something. Oh, wait, hold on. You're supposed to be multiplying. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just typed the wrong thing. So I do want to then take this and normalize it. And hopefully I have the right things in the right places. I don't. I need to swap these, actually. So what this is essentially doing... I'm sure with any programming problem, there's always multiple approaches to it, multiple solutions, all that sort of stuff. But essentially, this way of doing it, it's decent on performance. Well, decent enough, I guess, as opposed to calling a bunch of other functions or whatever. And the fact that I can skip dealing with transform.up by doing it manually. Basically taking the forward direction of the player and multiplying it by that forward back movement, which sort of makes it relative to that forward and back. Makes that forward and back relative to which way the player is facing. And then transform.right of the player multiplied by the horizontal input that is A and D. And that is right that, yeah, D, in this case, D should be plus and A should be minus. Not holding either of them is a 0. Yeah, that should be that there. Yes. I might want to mess with, like, drag and stuff if I wanted this to be a bit better, but for now, in theory, yeah, we got movement. Huzzah. Oh, well, actually, wait. Maybe we don't. When I said, oh, yeah, this will work, I may have been wrong, actually. Ooh, it is definitely having some issues, but I almost can't tell. So it doing this turning actually makes me think that the rotation has something funky going on with it. Hold on, let me do a thing real quick. This and this. Okay, that make that stutter less. Interesting. Okay, didn't account for that. When I said, oh, I've never done it this way before. Yeah, I'm seeing how that can have issues. Although, let me kind of test if that's more so happening because of the player movement or the player sticking to gravity. If I move them manually now. Okay, so we're still getting that behavior. That solidifies that it has nothing to do with the movement that we just made. That's interesting behavior there as well. So it seems like once we get upside down, there's this unnecessary turning happening. Interesting. Yes. So, ooh, this might make this a bit more tricky. It may seem. Okay. So, yeah, in terms of best ways to deal with that, I might have to go about, turning the player in a different way. I mean, I can set transfer.up, but then I can also then set the transfer.forward of that. That might get messy quick, though. I mean, the best case here would probably be to turn the player with torque, as I initially said, but there's like, oh, that'll take too long. Although, ooh, applying torque so that their upwards direction is facing the away from the planet, that does get tricky. Yeah. So what I guess what the problem that I'm kind of having here is because I'm not having to consider only the upwards direction of the player as I'm changing it. I need to also consider the forward direction. I need the forward direction to, from one frame to the next, essentially stay what it was. If it's going to change, it would be affected by, other things. So I need the transform.forward to not really change and have the player turn down. So I'm going to try commenting this out. Well, I'll duplicate and then change it. Or trying something different. I know there's a transform.rotate, and that might help a bit better. There's also transform.lookAt, or if it's under transform. That's another thing. You can say have this thing look at a target. If I turn the player a certain way where looking at the planet would lead to them facing upright. See, that's also an option, but it might have the same kind of issue with the forward direction not behaving as it should. So I'll try instead, yeah, if I can maybe try something like transfer.rotate takes in some Euler angles. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, this can get more complicated. Actually, I almost wonder, well, does the z-axis need to change? The one thing that might help with some of the problems here, I can get any rotation I need out of just modifying the x and the y. Rotate, oh wait, well, wait, or hold on, am I wrong on this? I mean, essentially, yeah. I don't know if that helps anything though. Let me just have a look at, since I know the player movement's fine, I should be able to kind of reactivate that, ish. What's the main thing that's skewing here when we cross over this, the bottom of this? Kind of looking, well, okay, it's behind my head. But I'm looking at the inspector values. Interesting. Okay, there's a bit of weirdness happening there. But is this the case where if the Z value is close to 0, it's happening less? And it's like whipping around to being negative. It might be more a symptom of something else though. Oh, the Y value, makes sense the Y value is kind of whipping around just visually based on what's happening. Let me just try something strange here for a second and just see what happens if I take this and then set the Z of the rotation to 0, which is going to be rotation.Euler-angles equals quaternion.Euler transform.rotation.Euler-angles.x transform.rotation.Euler-angles.y and 0 in a minute. What don't you like about this? Oh, right. No, you go at it like this. Equals, yeah, okay, I had that partially right. It's like half going off of just, like, I remember I've done something slightly like this before, and it kind of looked a little bit like this. Okay, so down to the bottom. Actually, let me just see one thing. Is it, oh. Okay, that is not the solution. Never mind on that. I was going to see if it was kind of behaving properly on the top part of the planet. Okay, so transform.rotate, I need to pass in some Euler angles. And we're going to ditch the lerping for right now until we get this back under control. We're just going to hard set it to what it needs to be and hope for the best. Yeah. Yeah. Although, just thinking about it, I almost, for a second, I was thinking that could set, like, the forward direction. Now, I was trying to think of just different ways of going about this. Doing something where it's, like, parallel to the normal of, like, the ground that we're touching, and something where it goes, like, in the direction that we're moving, but, no, probably be better ways to go about it. So, okay, oh no, I am forgetting how to do things. I want to try not to Google things, but I might have to give in very shortly. We're gonna see. Yeah, okay, transform.rotate. Oh. So I need to rotate so that the top is facing away from the planet. That's, I don't know why I'm having a hard time visualizing that. Harder than just rotating the whole game object to, like, have the forward direction face something. This having the up face in a direction in a way that's going to have a minimal effect on the forward direction, in theory. So what I need, okay, so what I need here are angles, right? So I need an angle that, I guess the angle between where we are now and the angle we would have if we were facing away? Well, yeah, criteria rotation rotates angle degrees around axis. Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for, though. This is measuring the distance between two angles. Yeah, okay, no. Oh, no. There's gotta be a way. And rotate towards from one quaternion to another. Well, I need two quaternions. I need the quaternion that we need to be pointing upright from to rotation. Yeah. Oh, this would be. So, look rotation. I mean, is there any chance that I could pass in the forward direction that we have now and then an upward direction that is pointing away? I just forcing that would essentially force the forward direction to never change, and I think that might have weird results as we turn large amounts. Not sure. I'm a little curious of what this is gonna do, so we might try it anyways. Hold on. So then this is actually gonna go transform dot rotate. Rotation is gonna now equal a look rotation that has what our current transform dot forward is, and an up direction that is the negative this, as we discussed. And if this miraculously works, then we could try something that's more smooth yet again. But let's see. Okay, that's what I expected. That's basically what I expected. I mean, it's more consistent, I guess. Also, I'm not sure. The fact that we're flying away from the planet makes me think that the movement is also not working perfectly. My guess is once we cross the horizon, essentially, the equator or whatever, my guess is that, yeah, okay, something's being thrown out of whack, unfortunately. Oh, lightning strikes. Hello, hello. What you doing, Chief? I'm doing a... Whoa, that's... Yeah, not how that's supposed to happen. Well, I'm doing a sort of coding challenge where, over the course of one stream, I'm trying to get certain behavior to happen. A certain task that, yeah, to try and get working. Which, at the moment, you can see the result that that's having. Not exactly working how it's supposed to. I'm essentially trying to recreate Mario Galaxy spherical planet gravity at the moment. Thought I was onto something at one point, and then I'm now discovering that that's not the case. So, yeah, where am I going? I mean, wait, what is up with him at the moment? Because you should still be Am I in orbit? Oh, that's hilarious. Science. Yeah, that is how orbits work. If you're applying acceleration towards, like towards the center, you're so far away that you're essentially falling and missing. Because that's kind of how orbits work. You have enough vertical momentum taking you kind of around. Interesting. Not what I was trying to do, but that's cool that it's yeah. How are you doing right now? I was messing with some things. Yeah. So at the moment we have our player spherical gravity. Actually, let me turn this down. This is quite louder than the other one. And this is our very brief player moving. That I think I'm gonna have to retouch how it is changed to be in the direction of the player. But anyways, and then we have like super simple camera is parented to player. Simple-ish there. So yeah, we're right now we have the applying force for towards the center is working as it should. This part's fine. Funny enough, if I start with a sphere, I wouldn't necessarily have these problems. But no, yeah. If we had a Mario, we would need his feet to point towards the ground. So that's what this is. Basically, we're trying different ways to get the capsule to rotate towards the center. Or rotate away from the center, in theory. Head away from center, feet towards the center. This solution did that, but then it was messing up the forward direction of the player a lot. Why not use a sphere? I just made that joke with the player. Part of the principle of the thing, I would like to have it be as if this was a character, that like head pointing away, feet pointing towards ground. Can hide the mesh and replace it with Mario, but I would still need that Mario to point towards the center, right? So I could have a sphere that it doesn't matter that where it's rotated, but then a child object I would still need to rotate that, right? So there's still something that has to be rotated towards the center. That has to happen somewhere. Just for now, I'm saying it's happening on the capsule itself. But yeah, somewhere that rotation has to happen. Yeah, and then also the it affects the movement as well, for that being sort of relative to the which way the player is facing and all that. Yeah. So, yeah, but so with this attempt at a solution, it was getting the up direction to be correct, but the forward direction getting all kinds of messed up. This idea I was experimenting with, it starts to work until you kind of cross the equator. I thought, like, yeah, no way this would, because it's forcing the transform.forward to be the same every frame. Ideally, I was saying that it would be nice if we did something that also made use of physics, like rb.addTorque to always be upright. But yeah, that also gets complicated. Although, I'm thinking of my unicycle thing and some of the code I have in place with that, of how I get a thing to stabilize. I want to try to not look at my other code or take from my other code, but if I can remember enough about how I did that months ago, that is in theory the same principle, just the up direction is not the same. Yeah, I could get a solution where I use torque, because that would be the ideal thing. Having it all be done through physics would be kind of cool. Gotcha. I'll not send you out any help left. I'm not sending out any help that you must suffer. Yup, that's the point of this. Well, the point isn't to suffer. The point is to experiment with coding things and to learn. And it's a coding challenge. I mean, I'm making up the rules as I go. There are 0 rules to this. But yeah. Just, yeah, trying things for the sake of trying things. This project will not be used for any of my games or whatever, unless I really like the idea and I whatever. But it's not being made for any of that. Have you done any networking multiplayer games yet? No, but I would like to attempt such things. Even just like doing like split screen multiplayer as like a stepping stone to that. That could be a future coding challenge. We'll see. I said that I might try to like limit each one for the contents of one stream, so that I'm not spending too long on any particular one. But we'll see. As I said, that could go out the window too. That split screen is super easy. Yes, but it's a stepping stone. Well, it depends on the game, right? Because if you have a bunch of stuff like enemies or whatever that assumes that there's only one player, because you have like GameObject.find player or find the one thing that has the tag of player, and then you introduce a second player, sometimes that that can introduce a lot of problems that unless you thought about that stuff beforehand. So sometimes split screen multiplayer, the problem with that isn't just duplicating the player, it's everything that duplicating the player now causes all of your other code to break. I think that can usually be a big issue. Although I think that would more so come from deciding to add multiplayer later on in development rather than going into it being a multiplayer game, I guess. Or that's my 2 cents. I've never made a multiplayer game, so that's just what kind of immediately comes to mind of how that could be difficult. But of course, network multiplayer, when you're dealing with like lag and all networking complicated stuff, that gets a million times more complex. So yeah, but yeah, I could totally see those being future topics for this. My tag game that I was making ages ago, I was hoping to try and like use that as an excuse to learn multiplayer and all that sort of stuff. I did a thing where when I had the player and then the however many AIs all running around, I attached a camera to each one of them and made a huge split screen thing. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that project was running the HD render pipeline, which made it some things not great in performance. I do think that when I work on that again, or like your tag experiment was really cool. Yeah, that was a school project, by the way. It is something that I want to go back to eventually when I find the time to. I mean, I guess like right now I could be doing that instead of this, but that's like a lot bigger of a devotion to have to go back and return to that. I do want to return to it one day and also find a better name than Ultra Tag. It was just school project, make a tag game. So I called it, actually it started as like, it went through different names. It was like Extreme Tag, other basically synonyms, and then ended up as Ultra Tag. It was like Ultimate Tag, Extreme Tag, Ultra Tag. Somewhere around there is what the order of that was. But I do want to return to that at some point. Yeah, but that would be a big investment to do that. I do think, as I just said, I was going to... if I go back to that, first thing I'm going to do is convert it from being in the universe or the HD render pipeline to the universal render pipeline. Basically, put it on the same playing field as my unicycle game in regards to both being on the same render pipeline and all that. Even this is probably the same version of Unity, all that. Just make a lot of things easier if I'm going back and forth between them. I was even thinking that I might have them share some assets. We'll see, to what extent that goes. Would make development faster, of course, but especially making your own pathing system, that was awesome. That was such a pain. It was really cool. I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot, whatever. So complicated. Super extremely complicated. But that was the point, right? Like, I did not have to do that. I did that willingly. Because I had, like, well, number one reason is I wanted to. Like, whether it was a good idea or not, I wanted to try doing it, and thus I did it. That was reason numero uno. I know that Unity nav mesh stuff exists. I specifically just wanted to try making my own, just for fun. But then also, I wanted to purposely try to do stuff that I knew the nav mesh stuff couldn't do. Like at the time I had a misconception that I thought nav mesh stuff couldn't handle jumping at all. So I'm like, I want my stuff to be able to jump. Turns out they can kind of do jumping, but it's weird. You have to like set up jump points and stuff like that, from my understanding. I think falling off stuff works, but with that. But there's like some limits to it, right? So in my version, I was gonna have like it be a lot more automatic, and they could jump with different rules and all that sort of stuff. I also kind of wanted to experiment with the idea of, almost in a Mario Galaxy way, but like having like be able to run on walls. It's like, what happens if you're running on the walls and deal with that nav mesh system. So in a way, I want to specifically target. We never got to that point, of course, but I want to specifically target things that I knew nav mesh wasn't capable of, and I might return to it someday, and we'll see. I mean, one problem with that is that scene that we had at the end of it. It was a 100 megabyte scene, or actually, was that what it was? Something that was stupidly high because I extremely passed. I traded time complexity being really small for heaps and heaps of space complexity in like the worst way possible. So that was a thing I did, but yeah, we'll see. I would like to return to that someday. I had lots of ideas with it. In fact, like, it was going to be more than just a tag game. That's part of why I want to remove instead of calling it ultra tag, find a better name for it. Also, I just want to find a better name for it, and just in general, that I want to experiment with this, like taking the idea of having a bunch of people in an arena and basically do different game modes with that, to see what in like this like tag themed thing, but they don't all like we do more than just tag, like capture the flag or like army tag type things, or like a hot potato kind of situation, stuff like that. That's like elements of tag, but then just other variations of it. I thought would be cool. And then also adding in that you could like set traps or stuff like that, or not necessarily traps. Like, well, you'd have like an offensive weapon and like a defensive weapon. I thought would be cool. Like you're chasing someone, you throw something ahead of like at them that like slows them down, so you can tag them. And then likewise, when you're running away, you can drop a thing below you that then they could like trip over or something like that. And different ideas like that. Stuff that I was experimenting or that I was thinking of purely. Most of that was purely conceptual. But yeah, I would like to return to it at some point. And yeah, hopefully that would be cool. And I got a second interview for a game design / balance position tomorrow. Pretty excited. Ooh, very excited. That's very cool. Yeah, best of luck to you with that. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, second interview too, so that's good to get to that step. That is, yeah, very, very awesome. Best of luck. Yeah. Alright, I guess I should get back to what I am doing here. So, after all that rambling, I don't necessarily have a plan, but, I know I've done something like this before. How did I do it? So add torque that... So, what I need is an angular direction that is sort of pointing towards... I could start by basically pointing towards vector 3.up, and then change that... Well, transform.up, right? So, yeah, let's see if I can basically apply a torque that points towards vector 3.up. Or transform.up. Either or. That part would be swappable in theory. So let's start with vector 3, angle to up equals something, right? Let me just put like vector 3.1, right? It's just a placeholder. And in theory, then this would stick in there. Well, times some smoothing amounts or whatever. So the angle towards up would be what? I've done this before. Or no, wait, no. Quaternion dot from to rotation. Yeah, Quaternion dot from. Well, that's gonna get me creates a rotation which rotates from direction to direction. That's like almost what I want. From, can I convert that somehow? I know there's like a function that can basically do what I want for me without me having to calculate it manually. Just gotta remember what it is. I hate doing angle stuff. Angle stuff, not fun. Getting the dot product, the cross product. Oh! Wait. Is the cross product what I need now that I'm remembering it? Isn't it just, I would need the... Well, that gives me a direction. I'd prefer it to have, like... Well, for this idea to work, I would need it to scale, like, depending on how close we are. It can't just be a direction, like a speed, or I can't just have the direction. I would need the magnitude equivalent in this case. Ideally, it would, like, if we're right on top of it, it would be 0. If we're far away, it would be high. Now, assuming that this is working perfectly, there could be somewhat of an assumption that we're not 180 degrees from where we need to be, because we would always be slightly, like, as we're going around the planet, like, where we are and where we need to be would be like this, essentially. So in theory, that could be assumed, hopefully. I also hate trig lol. Yeah, not fun. But yeah, so cross product between the like other two directions, forward direction and to the right, or to cross product, like you take two vectors and it spits out a vector that's perpendicular to both of them. Yeah. I think we're making this more complicated than it needs to be. Oh yeah, potentially, yes. I agree. Well, I did try a super simple solution, right? Or what I thought was a simple solution, and then it didn't work. Or if you just mean using cross product, yes, there's probably a simple solution that doesn't use cross product. I'm pretty sure I remember that there's some built-in function somewhere in like vector3.blah or quaternion.blah that does basically what I'm trying to do. I just need to find it. Ooh. This would get me the float that, so the angle between blah and blah as a single number. If I could get, So, if I could get the direction that I have to rotate and then sort of normalize it and then like multiply it by that amount, maybe something like that could work. I'm just gonna keep looking a bit more to see if I suddenly remember like, oh yeah, that's a thing that exists. Because I've done this sort of thing before. Months ago, but yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, and projecting. No, I've done that. Interesting. I wonder, oh yeah, that might be useful for other things. Interesting. Okay, and that's not what I'm looking for, but it's, yeah, rotate towards. Oh. If I did a... No, that takes a vector and rotates. That's not... a vector that I need here is the... Actually... Oh, no, hold on. I'm not looking for a direction. I'm looking for a like an angle. I'm looking for basically the rotation values you'd have in the inspector, the Euler angles. But actually, I can just go to quaternion. Get it as a quaternion. Actually, yeah, no, I think I remember. Now I'm remembering how I did this. Quaternion.look to. Or is it from to rotation? That was it. From. Let's see. It would be our current up. Transform.up to planet.up. Well, sorry. Not that at all. That is not what I mean. Like, I typed not the thing I meant to type. Not the vector that's pointing away from the planet. That is not planet.up. That is this. But of course, I don't have the right data type. So I'm ignoring the left side. Just this for a moment. That would be quaternion that points from blah to blah, and then dot Euler angles. Potentially. I don't know if that's going to do weird things with the whole... Or wait, no, is that how that works? Let's find out. Let's find out, shall we? Could you do a raycast potentially? And do what with that raycast? That sounds like that's going towards the... directly setting the transform.up. I have the direction already. And if I wanted the point of the... that is the ground, I basically can just get the player... Hey! Oh. Wait. Also, hold on. It's actually, half of it's working, I think. Does that actually work? Oh, wait, no, not completely. Nope. Okay, see, that's... Yeah, that's not how that should happen. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay, so it's like working on the left-right, but not the up-down, in a way. The movement also still isn't fully cooperating. Oh, I was hopeful that it's... So, I guess my immediate question is... why? Actually, oh, I didn't freeze the rotation... Or I froze the rotations as well, so that's also something I shouldn't have done. Do I have both? Oh, I have both in place. Oh, that would do that. Okay, right. I should be having one or the other. Yes. Let's try that again. Oh, unchecking these. So, no. So in this case, angular drag shouldn't matter because the point of this solution is that if it overshoots, it should now be pointing the other way, and so it should counter correct. The exact same way that my unicycle does. I could just look up that code, but I'm trying not to. My giving up will be looking up that code because I believe that it did something along these lines. I don't think I had to use cross product for that though. I could be wrong though. Don't do it. Yeah, the point is to learn. Yeah. And also, by not immediately knowing solution, I'm trying different things and have maybe discovering things that I didn't know existed that could be beneficial. I've had that happen quite a lot of just, discovering Unity functions I had no idea existed, or methods of doing things. I can also, Google things on Stack Overflow. And I know that people have done the whole remaking Mario Galaxy Gravity before. I'm not original in doing that. It's just doing it as a challenge to myself a little bit. But of course, it always comes back to rotations. That's like the thing I suck at is rotation-related things. Next challenge, I'll try to pick something that I won't have to do anything with rotating. We'll see. But I imagine I could do stuff like making an inventory system, making I could have stuff as a challenge that is stuff that I eventually want to do in my unicycle game, and then eventually put that stuff in. Such as I want to make a save file system of how some games will have like 3 save files and then go through that process of actually managing 3 separate save files that control stuff. I think I know in my head how I would go about it, but I thought I knew in my head how I'd go about this, and here I am, here. But yeah, Chroma, what do you charge per hour? Or what do you charge per hour to work on games? I don't have employees. I have no idea. I don't know what game dev salary would be. I mean, it can vary a lot, right? Depending on, I guess, the level of, what company you're working at. If you're working at Nintendo versus some indie people or whatever, that would change a lot, I imagine. And of course, if you're like self-employed making an indie game or whatever, then you're paying yourself with whatever monies you can get. No, so I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Anyway, so what am I looking for? What am I trying to do? Okay, so I need to do something different. Location is a big deal. Cali versus like Tennessee would be night and day different salary. Really? Well, that makes sense. Different places, different things going on. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I'm not from the States, so California versus Tennessee, I don't know the difference between them. No. I mean, in terms of game dev salary, I wouldn't have guessed that would have been a thing. But sure, different laws, different all that. Yeah. I don't have to do a solution that uses torque. It would be cool if I could, though. I mean, either way, I need some kind of angle that points towards up to potentially directly set, like transfer.rotation, lerp towards glass. So going down this road, I effectively need this number anyways. Except, I definitely am not doing this the correct way. Creates a rotation, which rotates from direction to direction. It's going from transform.up to away from the planet's center. I know from my testing before, I believe this direction to planet center is correct. Because housing markets and life cost in general, that would do it. Like a 200K home in Tennessee would be like $1 million in California. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Fair enough. Minimum wage and all that. Yeah. Okay, so so what can I do with this? I mean, part of me is like, also like, should I be taking this Quaternion and passing it into something else? So there's also the possibility, if I'm looking at other Unity functions that exist and how they could help me. There is a vector3.angle. Angle between. That's the same thing. Okay, it's signed angle. Interesting. So I get the angle between two things, and just know that like this is the amount I would need to turn. And then stick that in a vector somehow that points in the direction that I want it to point, maybe. Let me try something along these lines. Wow. Okay. So we're to get this and do something with it. Yeah. So I mean, if I this is spitting out a float. So float. Well, I'll also call it angle 2 up for now. But then I would, so if I could get a direction then that I'm sticking this in a float, then I'm sort of multiplying it by this. Maybe I could. Here, as a test, while I'm still trying to figure out this, I'm gonna stick this in a. It's not really direction to up, but whatever, it's fine. As a test. Stick this into a vector 3. I'll go vector 3 out forward. Wow, I didn't expect to be this stumped with this, but it happens. I just want to see if I then only move forward and backwards. In theory, this might work. At least test the idea. Or not. Oh, I keep not... these need to be unchecked. I keep not having that be the case. Well, I was unchecking them, but while I was in play mode. That's concerning. Immediately not doing the right thing. So this idea might not work how I thought it would. Oh, of course. Oh, so I know why this. Hold on. I know why this. Part of this is it's only going up. It's only going positive, so it's only being more and more and more. What's your problem now? Oh, I need axis. I suppose I could also get an angle, get an angle on the X, get an angle on the Z, and then combine them. That's a potential option, maybe. See, another thing is not only did I get this to work with my unicycle thing, I got it to work on slopes as well. So when you're on a slope, it points up relative to the slope. So that's more so that yeah, how did I do? I mean, I did it with intense Googling, so there was that. Transform dot right for a minute. But even stuff like this, when I flip completely upside down, I worry about the behavior that's gonna have. No, okay, so that was not the answer at all. I'm trying to hold S to undo, but that's not helping. Gah. I might have to give in soon. I think I need to have a peek. Because, well, this is just rotation stuff. This isn't the main thing I was wanting to do was the force adding, the adding force to go towards the center of the planet. Not just, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a peek, I think. Where's my code? Oh, you're not in there. One sec. Let me just find my game. Don't make excuses for your failure. Yeah. Oh, game dev made possible by internet web searching. Haha. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, I haven't, I'm still pulling up the things. What other ideas do I have? So much let down Chroma game up. No. I mean, I can go with the whole challenge, just a tiny bit of it. Well, okay, I can think of a little bit more. What other options do I have? So let me mess with at least one thing. I can mess with at least one more thing for learning purposes. Public vector 3 test. I just want to mess with something. By putting that in there, I'm gonna test real quick with essentially manually putting in what the number should be at certain points. Kind of. And oh, forgot about that. That you're gonna roll. I could do that first, but you're not gonna. Right. That's partially a friction thing. Okay, so okay, I do have more stuff to mess with. Interesting, because friction and all of that. In a lot of projects, I will make a physics material that is frictionless and essentially do my own kind of friction stuff. I kind of want to do that here, so that what I'm hitting against is not, because that's sliding. That's actually been part of the problem. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not giving up just yet. Why can I not find physics material in this list? Am I blind? There's material. Render texture. Base material. There you are. Frictionless. And let's just go 0 everything. And I'm just gonna. The easy way to like sort of apply it across the board is to just go bleh, default material frictionless. Oh. Well, hold on. Let me go to play mode, please. Okay. That may not have saved. I don't know if things in project settings. Nope, not there. I don't know if they undo. I'm gonna assume they do. Yeah. Okay. There. Try that again. That at least. Okay. That'll be more. Things will be a bit more consistent. Yeah. I shouldn't be falling over like that. Well, okay, I am physically hitting against the planet, so that is going to do stuff. Okay, so that's, I guess, fair. A little bit of movement. Right, yeah, falling over, yes. So in theory, my code, when it's working, should be counteracting the trying to fall it over. In theory. So that should be, yes, falling on my face. This should, with enough force, get me back up. No. Interesting. Maybe up the angular drag. Huh. So actually, yeah, even this whole applying force in the direction that I think force should be applied or whatever is actually not behaving like how I think it should be. Wait, is there something that needs to be made local? Ugh. Huh. Yeah, actually, I think that is how this works. Yeah, it's add local torque. Add a relative torque. Which reminds me that this should be local, maybe? Or I'll come back to that. I'm not going to worry about that right this second. Okay. Interesting. Coding local makes things so much easier? Yeah. Okay. Less having to account for a thing. So I have fallen over. Now, the falling over might be too much for it to handle. Okay, hold on. I need some flat ground. The thing specifically that I'm trying to test, I need some flat ground. Just cube. Blah. I mean, one thing I can test is what happens when I apply this sort of spherical gravity to a cube planet. Or more so, even having, like, cubed gravity, where it's, like, flat, and then once you go over the side, you'd, like, wrap around. That would be its own interesting thing to mess with. Okay, so blah. I need to turn off... Actually, hold on. I'm just going to turn off the gravity completely for right now. The thing I'm trying to test, I can just test in free fall, essentially. Okay, so if I'm like this... Okay, so you do work like how I think you should. Until you become too much. Okay. Stop that. No, I meant to zero you out. No, hold on. I am going to, for now, apply some angular drag. Okay, that's just easier to have stop. And then along the Z, you... Well, okay, you're actually opposite the way I thought you would be, but no, I guess that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that... So, yeah, these are the directions in which I want to be applying forces. And Y, I, in theory, shouldn't be applying Y rotations. I think. So, however the player is relative to the planet, I should just be applying X rotations and Z rotations. Okay, that's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure that the number here was kind of behaving how I thought it should be. So basically what I now need is code that generates those kinds of numbers. Now, how is that going to happen? So I almost wonder if I might be able to calculate the x and z separately. Also interesting, before I was doing something that was messing with the z, and I should have been not messing with the y. Whatever, that's fine. The y does need to be able to change. Actually, it doesn't. In theory, I could treat this exactly like my unicycle thing, where I would have this parent capsule. Its rotation in the y doesn't matter. It just, curves around like this to match the ground that it's under. And then the potential child game object that is Mario or whatever, that then turns on the y depending on where the camera is facing. Interesting. That would match how my unicycle handles its rotating. That's interesting. It's funny how many parallels I'm now drawing between my own other game that I'm working on. It's kind of funny. Okay. That's what I was saying at the beginning. Well, you were saying to potentially have a sphere. It does. The problem with the thing with the sphere is okay. So the thing with the sphere or the Mario thing is I do need to have it. I do need it to face away from the center of gravity. That still needs to happen. I'm just saying that it's Y rotation. This doesn't matter. But I'm saying for what I'm proposing, this does matter, and this does matter, regardless of if it was a sphere or a capsule. With it being a capsule, I can more easily tell the top direction. I still want the top to face away, but I don't care about this. This does not affect where the top is facing relative to the sphere, and that's what my point was there. So I'm saying if it doesn't matter, it could be 0. In theory. So basically now what I need is to have some calculations that replicate these numbers. And either I have some fancy Unity function that does this for me, or what might be the way that I split this up is function that calculates the x part of it, function that calculates the y part of it, and then combines it. That is the idea, potentially. So, how do we do that? I guess I could start with just the x. Just get the x to work, or either x or z. I can choose either. I'll choose the z because that's forward and backwards. Now I'll choose the x so I can see left to right better, possibly. We gotta get some Cyberchroma merch with the quote "in theory." Yeah, I say some things a lot. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what I eventually do. When I cross 100 subs. No. The problem with merch is having to actually go through the process of setting all of that up, and in a large part the photoshopping or illustratoring that would come with making designs and all that. I mean, eventually, but not at the moment. Could you imagine if eventually I sell Cyberchroma lab coats? That would be my brand of merchandise. Selling lab coats. Oh, that would be so silly. Had like my logo here or something. That would be funny. That would be sweet. Go to a convention, a bunch of people show up in the lab coats. That's how you identify who else is a fan of me. That would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, though, put that idea in our back pocket. I do have a website by technicality. I haven't actually looked at it in quite a while, and it is probably due for an update sometime. Hold on. .ca. Shabam. Cyberchroma.ca. Not .com, because .com is American. .ca is Canada. It's definitely a work in progress, but it is a start. Ooh, look at my tutorials. Wow, look at that. And ooh, watch the wizard. Ooh, one thing I would like to have on here is an actual, like, almost like a collage video of, like, a portfolio kind of thing of different things that I've made all in, like, one little, like a video of just being like, bam, this, that, showing, like, the best of the best. The problem is, I need best of the best quality things that I've made that aren't just this. The problem with pictures as well is that pictures don't do a good job at expressing my, the code necessarily. Like, this could be like the most amazing Mario Gravity thing that you've ever seen in your life. But if the screenshot is this, then you're not getting much out of it. You're not getting what the code is. And yeah, I could take screenshots of code all day, but that's also, it's not as cool as visuals. So having actual more video things could be, a thing. I still need to build my own website. I still need to build my own website out soon. Already got the domain. Yeah, cool. Definitely can be good to have. For me, I thought it would be cool to, like, have, my tutorials on here and stuff like that. I thought it would also be cool. So I have ideas for, well, how it is right now, just kind of put together by duct tape, but I have some ideas of when I actually have time to maybe deal with this. I mean, one, color scheme wise, I think I'd like more of my cyan, magenta, yellow color scheme in this. But also, I have this thing where I have a GitHub thing with all my tutorial files. How cool would it be if on the website you have, here's the tutorial, and then here's, click this to download the files of that tutorial specifically. I thought that would be a cool thing to do. Stuff like that. And I would go through all of my tutorials and probably do that for all of them. Thought that could be neat. And other things. Having also, like, I have, well, eventually when I have, well, yeah, the handyman with a unicycle is not on here because I have not touched this basically since I started that game. So eventually this could be where there's like a trailer for that game, or may eventually in a million years when that game comes out, you'd have places to buy it. I mean, I'm gonna put it on Steam because that, but this would have like trailer with link to Steam or something like that. I don't know. Also, yeah, homepage would eventually maybe be like this portfolio thing of quickly like best of the best material kind of stuff. Yeah. You know what would be also be really, really cool? I need to show you guys like the coolest thing that exists. One sec over here. Waiting for thing to load. Waiting for thing to load. Waiting for spinny wheel. So this is a thing. This is Eighth Wall. This is a thing where, regardless of what this is, at the moment, what you're seeing here is a little game that's, okay, it's actually being a bit laggy, but I think if I wasn't streaming, it would be, or I know, because that it's like better on, performance and all that. But essentially, it's a, well, yeah, the fact that there's 3D stuff that I can control that's running in a website, very cool. Now, I imagine it's, like, very limited if you want to actually, how much file size this can support without being extremely slow and terrible on old computers or whatever. Like that's worth thinking about or whatever. I do know that like there's no collision if you just keep running off to the side. I have messed around with this, but in theory, how cool would it be if I had a thing like that? Like, me being game developer guy, imagine if or at least a page somewhere on my website had this little, like, game in the website. Like, or even if I went to the extent if it was, like, animated me in the lab coat running around. That would be really cool. But extremely, it'd be extremely hard to do, and also, like, again, the performance of things or whatever. Like, I don't know how well this runs on, worse computers and whatnot, but... yeah. This is just a link to the GitHub. Yeah. I do have a link to, or I do on my website have a link to the whole GitHub, like all my stuff there. But it would also be cool if for each tutorial, here's a link for that specific GitHub thing. If I want it to be, easier to find for specific things that you're looking for. Or maybe it's all it's all conceptual stuff. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I don't think it's worth the time. Could make a real game. That's true. I mean, that's also part of why I'm not really working on the Ultra Tech thing at the moment, is because I already have a million other things on my plate. Like more time I'm spending doing other things is time I'm not spending working on like things like the Hangman with the unicycle. And it's going to take breaks and all that. Like that's essentially kind of what this is a little bit. Also, right now specifically, I'm in like a planning phase of that project. Like I'm just planning a lot of stuff with it, so still doing some Unitying in the meantime, I guess. But yeah, I'm not at a point right now where I'm really going to be streaming, working on that game yet, because I'm attempting level design stuff. And I'd rather kind of do that on my own, because I'm like doing it like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, as I'm like just thinking about things as I'm, you know, coming up with ideas for things, writing things down or whatever, and we'll be, you know, messing with building the level, whatever. It's going to happen over a period of time rather than just in like me forcing myself to do it in like an hour period. I am trying to like work on it and like, yeah, but whatever. I've also been busy this last like few weeks just with other stuff, so that too. But anyways, but yeah, the whole like, the more projects you have, the, you know, less time I'm able to focus on other projects. That is for sure a thing to consider. That was just the cool thing I think is cool, and that's about that. I mean, it would be cool to eventually have, you know, a cooler looking website and whatnot, but eventually. Anywho, yeah, fixed update. So what was I doing here? I was going to try and do some logic that affects just the X, and then logic that affects just the Z. So let's attempt that, shall we? I'm going to start with the X, I guess. So if I wanted just an angle, or single float, I only need a float in this case. So float, well, you know, okay, angle to up X and then angled up Z. So how would I calculate this? I mean, I could also, well, I mean, I need a number that, well, wait, would this, let me remind myself of what this spits out again, and why this didn't work when I was trying it 2 seconds ago. Side angle from, so, I mean, if I wanted to flatten this against the X part of it, actually, if I do that along like the forward axis, because that would, well, it's either gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be like clockwise or counterclockwise, and how that's gonna be right or not, but blah blah blah. This angle to up is gonna be what, combining it. It's gonna go new vector 3. That would eventually be both, right? But that we'll just put in just it like that for right now. Is it okay? It's essentially the same as what I had before, but let me remind myself of why that didn't necessarily work. Actually, it would also be way more beneficial to actually print this number out. That's, yeah, gonna actually help. One thing I might need to be doing in here is actually multiplying it by some numbers if it's too low or too high or whatever. Yeah. I do need... So having done 0 moving, it's deciding that it wants to be all of that. Why? So first thing I'm gonna do is divide it by like 10, let's say. Because the test number was being like 1 and -1, and that was pretty much fine. So this number should be a lot lower as well. Let me just... Also, I'm gonna get... No. I want this turning... let's see here. Yeah, I want the turning... Oh, right. I'm also, because I'm... we're gonna make this cube the planet center for right now. Because it's actually trying to apply gravity towards this. Okay, that makes a bit of sense. A tiny bit of sense of why I was behaving like that. Okay, still no. So let me see what's happening in the very first frame. Because this is the frame where it should be 0. It's almost 0. I mean, that's like... No, I'm dividing it by 10, so it's not that. I'm going to move the 10 to over here so that I can print it before I'm scaling it. So same behavior in terms of how it's applying it, but, yeah. Nope, freeze on the first frame. Close enough. It's your 1. Well, it's 1 degrees away, right? So, I mean, but here, let me get it to be what should be a perfect 0. Right? If this and the cube have the same, basically the same things, the y height of it shouldn't matter. Maybe it is for some crazy reason. It is 0. Okay. Interesting. Over a few frames, does it suddenly become... Okay, interesting. So that's... What I say, I'm going left and right here, so... Well, actually, I'm going to manually just kind of go like... Blah. Wait. Oh. Oh, right, I'm applying this in the wrong direction. So when I say X, I'm thinking left and right, as in the way the player's moving left and right. But the X rotation is rotating along the X axis. I essentially need to swap these for how I'm thinking about them. So I'm just gonna, well, how about put this number, technically this should be Z, right? And then I'm moving it to the other side. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that, okay, so the numbers being backwards may have been part of why things were behaving that way. No, please. Oh, wait. No, that is... That's what's supposed to happen. Ignore the flying away. The movement might still have problems. The wavering is also a thing. So turn the angular drag on that. Like that's a thing that is fine in theory. Okay. Again, ignoring the flying away, I would call this progress. Let me actually bring back the gravity part of the gravity. And let me skip right to the X part of it. I feel like there's some way to essentially do this, but on one line. But at this point, I just want something that works. And I said we'll divide it. Actually, no. Now that it's... We're gonna not divide it. I'm gonna... Well, no, I should not be normalizing it. That's not... I think there's some other scaling that needs to happen on the number. I think once even if I do have this working, I might look at my other code anyways. I should go back on the ball. Yeah, okay. That actually seemed to be working pretty expected. But I'm going to go back on the ball. Start a little bit away from it. Ball. Wait, that's not how I drag. That's, this drag, this one. Okay. Potential progress is good. Now, the Y is changing a little bit. I don't know if that's going to have some unexpected behaviors. So it might still do a thing where I force the Y to always be 0. There's some... I do see that wobbliness. That is a thing. Actually, why is it happening? When I'm sitting still... What's causing that? Also, why am I moving so much right now? I mean, one thing is, let me actually give some drag amounts. That would help a little bit. Oh, but then we have to... Okay. Got it. Wait. This isn't being used, right? Not anymore? Alright, it's gonna go here. Not really a smoothing at this point. Rotation correction speed? Something along those lines? And I thought I had just a speed. No, that's this. Well, this would be... I guess I should make it like a gravity amount. If I wanted this to be different on a planet-by-planet basis, then it would be the planet itself that stores what its gravity is. Did you move it relative to the camera? Right now it's relative to the forward direction of the player, which, because the camera and the player move together, it essentially is. Right now, like I have a very simple camera. Actually, there's no camera code. It's just the player is parented under the camera. Oh, right, I changed variable names, and thus I have to reset them. So we're going to put 10. It's close enough. Taking correction speed. I'm gonna try something really high, but then also couple that with a really high drag and just see what behavior that has. Because I think that's kind of what I do my unicycle game. Oh, right, with a high drag, gravity will need to be higher. Yeah, like right now I can't turn the player left and right, but that's like it's on the list. Okay. You know, it's way better than it's been up to this point, right? Like, that's at least something. I'm thinking it's like a little bit jittery on the ground. I think high gravity is gonna do that. Oh. That's not the number I meant to even set. Yeah, this is the gravity being extremely high. Gravity's lower. It's a bit smoother. I also, like, I can physically see, from this being Unity's sphere scaled up, I can physically see, like, well, it's perfectly spherical, where the vertices are, but, you know, it's progress. Progress, yeah. Okay, so, cool. I also mess with these values more. If I move too fast, then I leave the gravity. No. Let's, you know, not have that. But interesting for a first start, I guess. As I said, it's better than it was before. Could bump down the correction speed there as well. That would help a little bit. As long as you don't turn too slow, that should be fine. I'll put you 2. Okay, cool. Progress, yeah. Let me remember these numbers. So 10, 10, 100, 10, 2. 10, 10, 100, 2. Okay, I can also get rid of that test. Okay, I'm happy with that at least just working. It's, as I said, better than it was. Awesome. And I did get it to work with physics after all, which I like. Blah, da, blah, da, blah. Okay. As I said, there's probably a way to get this to be in one line, but that's fine. I mean, I could go new vector 3, blah, comma 0, comma blah, but I don't need that. Let me try one other quick thing. Just go RB dot, like rotation. I want to force the Y part to be 0 without causing problems. RB dot. Isn't it like set? Oh yeah, set density's a thing. I've never used that ever. So what am I trying to find? RB dot rotation dot Euler angles dot Y, but you can't do that way. I thought there was a. So it was like move position. I thought there was like a dot something rotation, like something else that was move rotation. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Quaternion being quaternion dot Euler. I'd have to go RB dot row, because I can't just go dot Euler dot Y equals blah, because of quaternions being weird. I have to do it like this way, not like that. Euler angles dot X, 0. Actually, wait. Better idea, better idea, better idea. I can literally just freeze the rotation of the Y there. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. And I'll have a child game object be what turns. Oh, I'm falling slow. Because of the drag. I mean, so one thing I could do to actually make that better, I could actually have a thing that's like, if we're on the ground, we don't need to apply gravity. Only when we're not on the ground do we really need to apply gravity. Ish. Or when we're on the ground, apply less gravity or something. But yeah, that in theory works. Also, I'm seeing that the Y behind my head. Whoa, hey, no. Me pressing like WSD was going up and down my scenes there. I'm noticing that the Y is changing anyways, even though I basically told it not to. So I might have to do some manual corrections anyway. Good job, Torque. You didn't do it. I wanted you to. Okay, back up to this. Okay. We'll see if this messes up anything funky. And one way to find out is by doing it. I don't know if actually this should be like before this line or after it. I would put it after, so it's like after everything, get rid of the Y. I know. I was having that issue with my movement relative to the camera. I tried all kinds of different approaches. Yeah, that's it. Like, cool thing with programming is there's lots of different ways to tackle a problem. Why is it still... Okay, no, you do not like that. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I'm also going to... So... Yeah. I was gonna say... Oh, you're still also... Can I make this drag a little bit smaller and get away with it? Excuse me? I undid you. Hold up. Did making the drag lower do that? It shouldn't have. Hold on. You were just working a second ago. What happened? Excuse me? What did I press? What did I just do? I did something. Oh, not there. Oh, wait, sorry. I just got rid of that line. Haha, I got rid of the wrong line, of course. Yeah. That would do it. That would do it. That would certainly cause the wrong things to happen. Let me try that again. I tried making drag lower. Then gravity doesn't need to be as high. Still at the right balance. Whatever, it's fine. I'll just do that. Let me 10. I don't need to get this to be like perfectly smooth movement. It was more the principle of the thing with the like potential that if I continue to modify these values, I'd find the perfect sweet spot, whatever. It's part of like making players specifically that I don't always love is just having to keep tweaking like drag and speeds and all that to get like things to behave how you want them, but I think it's good enough. So it doesn't seems like I won't be able to hijack the Y necessarily, but you know, depending on how the child is, if the child isn't completely local, then that might be fine. So that is that. Woo, moving. Now the problem with, as far as like moving, we can't really move all the ways that we want to. That's mostly because of a lack of camera stuff. With camera things, you would have like, you orbit the camera and then move forward relative to the camera, then you could move any way you want, and then that would be fine. That would require setting all that up. Do I want to set up all that right now? I mean, I, in theory, could, but it's kind of, you know, not what the challenge was. So I kind of want to just to set up something quick and small. Just do a very simple, just seeing if... Also, wait, I'm also just realizing that I might not actually need to do this stuff. If I just went add local force, does that work that way, or add relative force? Essentially, that's just making this local. New vector 3, blah, blah, blah. I just want to try this. If it doesn't work, I go back to what it was. It's funny that this is what we started with. I think those kind of, they might actually behave the same. Oh wait, I have these backwards, but... it should still up in a second. Okay. Double checking that all the way around works. Okay, cool. Yep. Way easier. Yeah. Multiple solutions, no problems. Although some are better than others. That's for sure. Okay, quick thing I was gonna do, just for real quick turning, is just that have Q and E just pivot you left and right. That's not great turning, of course, but if, yeah, quick enough for now to just work. Call this like turning input. Blah, blah, blah. E being the positive, Q being the negative. Yep. And then doing something with that is going to be something like turn direction is, and I think we're just going to do the same thing. Torque with this turn directions times some rotation speed. Like turning input, not Oh, you're there, but you're not you. That's your problem. Okay, yeah. Just in the Y, and we'll do the same deal. Interesting how similar those are. Yeah, and I just don't have to worry about camera stuff for right now. Cool. The falling slow is not great, but it's fine. Okay, so Q and E aren't doing anything because the rotation speed is 0. I'll start with the same number. Okay. Woo! I would say that works enough. I might maybe make it a bit smaller and I would like to move faster, but the problem with that is that I'm leaving the planet. But of course, I guess I could counteract that with just stronger gravity. But then that happens. And it's still not enough. Interesting. That does get harder to solve. That wouldn't be as much of a problem if the planet was just physically bigger. Here, what that? Let me mess with, what number is that? That's this one. Yeah. No, not ideal. Why am I falling so slowly still? It's the drag, but maybe put a lock on how far it can rotate sideways. Clamp it. This isn't a rotation thing. It's just, it's like it's moving faster than the gravity is pulling it down. Like, I think that's more so the problem that needs to be fixed. Which I guess makes sense if the speed is physically a higher number than the gravity. I guess that makes sense a little bit. But then making the gravity too high does other weird behaviors, it seems. Weird. But yeah, this doesn't seem to be like a well, I mean, yeah, we're rotating and all that, but I don't think the problem is with the torque parts of it, in theory. I think of how Mario Odyssey or Mario Galaxy might, handle this problem. I think there might be. It could be the case that that game might have more code to, like, when you're on the ground, to more so have you stick to the ground to move along the normal of the ground. Maybe? I don't know. Interesting. I mean, this problem, as it just said, doesn't happen when the numbers are low, right? If we're moving slow, then everything's fine. But, of course, slow is not fun. Let me go, let's make the, hold on. Make this a really big planet. Wait till physics catches up and puts us on the outside. Okay. So in theory, now I should be able to bump up the numbers with less of an effect. Something like that. There's also the idea of, oh no, I'm still able to leave. What's weird is, like, so yeah, I'm falling really slow, which would be solved by amping up gravity. So why, I guess, why does physics do this? Why does the rigid body decide, hey, you're applying gravity a lot, let's freak out? Because that's more the issue here. What happens if I increase the mass? And now I basically can't move. Also, this is so big that it being a sphere collider on this sphere that's not fully a sphere, it's, yeah, I'm going to be floating slightly above it. That's how that's going to look for a bit. Both those numbers. Nope, still leaving the planet. And still falling so slow. But then when the gravity's so high, I'm like, I'm falling over. If I had a capsule, would that be different? Like, just for a minute. Oh, yeah, you're gonna have that problem. Yep. Replace you with a box collider. And then, well, get back down to Earth. Nope, still going fast enough. I mean, okay, now, I mean, drag is being a little bit of an issue of how I can just continuously go faster and faster and faster. Yeah, I think my problems now are more so to do with rigid body shenanigans. I mean, yeah, that's not great. It'd be better if that wasn't the case. I can't just go with a no rigid body solution unless I wanted to program my own collision stuff here. I'm good. Not sure what would be the best. One thing that is an option is this force mode stuff that I can do. Force, actually, not here. What happens if I make this have force mode dot? Impulse. I think impulse uses the mass and velocity change doesn't, and that's the difference between those two. Oh, yeah, let's out and back in. Oh, with that, the gravity needs to be significantly less to have the same effect. Oh, rotation speed was still 0. Don't know. Huh. That seems to be behaving better, but I'm not exactly sure why. Interesting. I wonder if, I don't know. Weird. Weirdly enough, I'm just curious to see literally doing the same thing on some of the other movement bits, what that might do. What effect that might have. Before I go into play mode, I should be setting numbers. Whatever, I'll do it after. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So both of them on 1, wait for things to correct themselves. Lower the drag. Lower the drag a lot more. Okay, so, So the drag is too low, I still eventually leave the planet, but, interesting. Now, some of this bumpiness... Oh, yeah, I forgot that has a sphere collider. So, actually, the collider side of it is perfectly spherical. So, the bumpiness wouldn't be caused by the geometry being like this. Yeah, that is a thing. I think you too. How high can I get away with? About there. Then make gravity 2. I mean, this speed would be nice for how fast we are moving around it. This bumpiness that's now happening, I'm wondering if that might be more from the torque. So let me keep them as they are now. So 5, 10, 3, 10, 2, 2. Yeah, do I remember these? Yeah, 5, 10, you're 3, 10, 2, 2, I think. Maybe I got that right. Yeah. Blah. I'm gonna try... You have force mode things, right? Are they the same options? Yeah. I'm just gonna see what happens if I put them here. Surely bad things. But at this point, I'm just curious to try. Let's see what happens. Okay, so first of all, the numbers need to be lower, right? That's a step. Interesting. I mean, it's snappier, which is expected. Huh. Interesting. I can at least get away with less bumpiness. Maybe not, you know, no bumpiness, but less bumpiness. What happens if I go with a wrong thing? What happens if I go with a really tiny planet? You know, it'd be great if this wasn't happening. I just don't know how to have it not with the way that I've done this. I mean, it, like, kind of makes sense with the way that velocity and acceleration works, but don't want to do what's physically accurate. I want to do with what I would expect, or like what I would want to happen, even if it defies the laws of physics. What I would see in Mario. So, to get this to work, it might just need to be the case that I would just need more stuff in place to make it stick to the ground. Because I guess in a case like this, thinking from Mario logic, if I'm running along this, if I don't get hit, if I don't jump, or interact with any other special things, I should not leave the planet regardless of my speed. I should always, you know, run around. You know, in that game, you can get, like, a star that makes you, like, run that, like, double the speed, or however fast it is. You can run around tiny planets and, still be fine. So, like, there might just need to be more code in place to stick better. That isn't just... But, like, yeah, trying to make gravity super high makes the physics freak out for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Because, I don't know, you know, in theory, well, actually, I could try out the different of these and see what that might do. What if some combinations of these settings I barely understand suddenly make this work? Oh. Actually, at this point, because I'm not facing straight up, I'm like falling where I shouldn't be. I'll make it this a little bit bigger. How about you stop? Stop doing what you're doing. Could you add physics material to the planet? I could, and actually I did before. Well, friction isn't the issue here. Actually, there's friction by default. I took the friction away because that was causing other issues with the rotating. Although it might not be now. That's fair. Yeah. Gravity's too high. That does that. Is a thing. I mean, I can see what happens if I bring back the friction, just to see. So friction is back, and of course I'm falling over because I'm not correcting the rotation speed fast enough, or I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. Would the speed need to be higher to fix that? It is not happy with that at all. I'm gonna undo. Yeah. I'm gonna undo there. You're still behaving weirdly. I mean, these interpolate things are maybe not meant to be as they are. If you're discrete. Wait. Why are you permanently messed up now? Part of the issue at the moment might just be coming from... Like, if I go in and out of play mode, let all the freaking out stop, going on now? Why are you doing this? Or, that's because of that, right? Yeah. And now, if I were to change this to something else, maybe now it'll behave better. Ideally, if we, you know, the gravity value shouldn't matter in theory. Okay, does not like those. Does not like those. Okay, see, setting the interpolate thing to extrapolate doesn't like trying to recover from it, apparently. For some reason. Okay, you know, it's fine. Put this to 0.1, and maybe that'll be fine. Moving forward and turning at the same time, it does not happy with. I mean, the rotation correction speed might need to be higher. Yeah. The turning, maybe it shouldn't be the add force thing, or the impulse. I mean, yeah, like it's working decently well. Like we are moving around a spherical planet. That is indeed a thing that's happening. It's just, yeah, the physics for it isn't perfect, but with code this simple, I guess I can't expect it to be. We've got, yeah, just this and just this for some quick, simple movement. Which, I mean, these could have been part of the same script to just have less of these calls. I don't know if maybe there's a chance that the multiple add force calls are messing with each other. Like, if instead, if it was one add force call that was the two vectors added together, I don't know if that would behave better. But, yeah. I could do some generic Googling of... Actually, I'm curious of one thing, real quick. If I go back to using default boring gravity, go to here, if I make then the physics gravity super high, do I get the same effect? I'm curious if it's the same. I'm going to move this on my other monitor real quick. You can't see it for a moment, but just know that I'm bumping up the gravity, or bumping down the gravity to fall faster. Ah, yeah, now we're falling. Okay. Interesting. So why does physics' gravity behave differently from my gravity? And I can't necessarily just use this gravity. I mean, in this closed scenario, I could have my gravity be done by just using Unity's gravity settings. The problem is that this would apply globally to everything in the scene that's using this. Which, of course, wouldn't be good if I had multiple players going around the planet, or, you know, other things like crates or NPCs or whatever. You know, that would not work. So my question is, I guess, how is this applied? I thought that this was basically just an add force call going down. Although, I guess maybe I haven't made it big enough. Of course, once I move like the tiniest bit, then it... didn't even have to check out the unicycle? That is true. I did get away with not doing that. So, that is indeed cool. Here, let me make it like negative 1,000, and then go into play mode to see what that might do. Okay. So, we did get some of the funky, weird behavior. Hold on. So, maybe it does apply to this anyways. Can I see, please? Oh, on the game view, of course, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, okay, so it is maybe the same for both. Okay, so maybe I was correct there. Weird. Let me go back to just how it was. might be at a point where I might just call it for, like, you know, being good enough. Go back to that being off. Yeah. I had, no plan particularly for how far we would go with this. And we do have a system that, well, hold on. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go back to, I think, these not being, the torque parts of it not being the impulse thing. I was just doing that to see what would happen, and I think it's better not being that way. But I think the speed and gravity are slightly less wonky. Okay, yeah, see, like this, yeah, that's working better there. I mean, I can also try it being one or the other. Huh. Let me just try both ways real quick. With these, one being on impulse, the other not be, and let me try like both versions of that, like an XOR thing. Just seeing what it's gonna do. Gotta bounce out. Catch you next time. All right, thanks for dropping by, Lightning Stripes. Also, could add some smoothing to unjank it. Yes. Well, I mean, it's happening through like rigid body stuff, so that, you know, in theory, you're supposed to not have. It's supposed to be smooth by physics, in theory, but yeah. But sort of, I could look into more ways of smoothing it out, such as like the velocity that it's using, smoothing up or smoothing down, or smoothing from what it was last frame to this frame. Sure, there are definitely things I could do about that. So yeah, fair enough. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, Lightning Strikes. Yeah, this is a cool experiment, a thing to try. Put that at like 10, 20. The one I changed was the player speed, yeah. So this is now the one I gotta make a lot higher. Okay. Interesting. At a speed of 200 is... Huh? Okay. Yeah. I just don't know why it's so bumpy. I guess it is, actually, one thing that is worth mentioning is part of the bumpiness might be coming from the camera, right? Like, if I were to do this, right? You don't see the bumpiness, right? It's because the camera is following so closely or whatever. If the player has minor bumpiness, but the camera following was smooth, you know, that might be okay. Like, this looks totally fine, frankly. So that's actually really cool. Kind of forgot about that being a thing. Now, also worth mentioning also worth mentioning one thing, with the gravity, or with the move speed, is that having it not set to impulse means that going back and forth, there's this bit of like slowing down and going the other direction that has to happen. I think if the moving was set to if the moving is set to impulse, then it would be a snap dime turn. Now, which, depending on like what you want out of your game, you know, you could do either or. But yeah, that's worth mentioning. Okay, but interesting that this is working. Now, I wonder if I did go the full mile for a camera pivot. Maybe we'll do that real quick. Camera pivot. Just to see if something that's following the player but not being parented directly under the player could do, could, you know, still look smooth. And I'll try like the different versions of update, because sometimes they can behave differently. Okay, camera follow. We're just gonna do following, I think. Well, following and then turning towards its forward direction, I suppose. We'll start with just the following part of it. I'm not gonna do like mouse camera turning at the moment. But yeah. Okay. You're not the code that was supposed to open. Blah. Okay. So, camera follow. This is going to be on the camera pivot. Public, transform. I usually have a transform called target. It could be called player, but I'd be generic in case I wanted the target to not be the player for some reason. If, you know, partway through I wanted to have the player go track something else for some reason, right? That's options that I technically have. I'm going to say that on start, transform.position equals, or no, transform.position equals target.position. And then every frame we're gonna say, let me start with, actually no. Well, public float smoothing. I'm gonna incorporate this in a second. I just want to see what this looks like. I just want to, out of curiosity, to see if I get behaviors I don't expect. How just this behaves. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Do I have? Oh, you're not set up right. Hold on. I need the camera pivot to. This is easier setup. Also, I'm just gonna make the ball has been a 19 scale this whole time. I'll make it 20, so it's slightly bigger, I guess. But I'm just going to make the camera pivot. What I'm trying to do. The position of the camera pivot be the position of the player is all I'm trying to do. So 15. I'll go. Nice even 15. Okay. Blah. Camera pivot 15. Main camera go under that. All right. Let's see just what that does. I'm expecting the same behavior that we've had up to this point. Oh, darn. I made changes on the player and did not keep them around. Oh, no. I don't remember what they were. Were you at a 10? I'll figure out the numbers now. Or did I have you at like 200 or something? Oh, right. It's not going to rotate with the player more. That's, frankly, interesting behavior. I'm leaving orbit. Okay, that's fine. Okay, at 100, then that's fine. Okay, whatever. So it's interesting to not be rotating with the player, but I kind of forgot that is a thing. That is a part of this that kind of should be happening. But even without the rotating, well, I think the rotating is where more of the lack of smoothness is coming from. The jankiness, but interesting that I didn't have to smooth this for it to effectively have what I wanted to have happen. So I'm still going to do it anyway. So vector3 dot lerp from wherever we are currently to that with a smoothing amount. And I timed my time to delta time so that if we like pause the game or something, this also worked to freeze. Even though we're not doing that stuff in this, but it's the principle of the thing. Let's also do rotation stuff, shall we? Okay. So it should just slurp going from its rotation. Actually, you're sure already in. Just replacing the parts that I need to replace. Very haphazardly, but it's fine. These are going to get different smoothing values because I imagine they're going to want them. Okay. Blah and blah. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Blah, what? Okay, so we do have, well, actually you didn't, wait. How'd you get the jankiness back? When you didn't have it a second ago. I'm not sure. I'll put back in the smoothing. Or I'm going to put in the rotational smoothing. That just wasn't there. We should be back to this kind of behavior. Okay, yeah. So, interesting. One thing that I know is a thing that I've seen sometimes is by using a different fixed update, or going from update to fixed update, having the camera movement smoothing happening in the same version of update that the player movement was happening. Somehow, because logic and reasoning, somehow, yeah, I noticed things being smoother as a result. Maybe there's better ways of going about it, because usually you don't want, you put physics stuff in fixed update, and the camera movement is not a physics thing, but if it leads to no jitter, then I'll take it. There is also late update is a function, and I'm curious just to try that. I'm also curious to try, it might actually be a time thing now that I think about it more. I'm wondering if I put instead times time dot fixed delta time, if that would behave differently. Okay, so that's the same there. Actually, first, let me just see that that is even the culprit by getting rid of those, and then I have to adjust the smoothing values to sort of account for them. So time at delta time is usually around 0.02. So I can put in 0.2 instead of 10 in those numbers. And... okay. Oh, so no. Unless multiplying by, like, time at delta time would miraculously make it better anyways. But fixed delta time doesn't change. Delta time does. I'm just curious to try things for the sake of trying things. You know, I'm pretty sure this won't work. I might be thinking about it wrong, and then maybe it will miraculously decide to work. No. Okay, so instead, we're just going to go back for delta time and fixed update. Although, I don't know if there should be fixed delta time because of that, but whatever. It should be fine. In theory. Okay. Woo! Awesome. Now, right now, the rotation smoothing and the move smoothing are the same. I could, you know, mess with that. Oh, oops. Like, right now, the rotation smoothing is really low. Now, it is hard to tell, alright, the player moves really fast. The player doesn't have a thing that makes it look like a forward direction at the moment, but they could have such a thing. Okay, interesting. So really, that really just ooh, I put this up to 100, and now you're seeing a bit of smoothing, a bit of that bumpiness. So at 10, it's basically gone. I'll take it like that. If that's what that takes, yeah, got the results that I was hoping for. It's funny, a thing that's like, oh, I'll be lazy and just do this real quick, turned out to be very against me. Like it was causing a decent amount of problems. I don't know how much I would have not had to have done if I did put this in a camera pivot from the beginning. Interesting. And for those who aren't familiar with camera pivot, I have a good explanation with visuals in my how to make a submarine tutorial. But basically, well, I've already done it, so it is kind of easier just demonstrated. But it's the idea of basically, if I want the camera to follow this, have an empty game object that just follows the player, because then it's really easy to, if I want to rotate the camera around the player, well, okay, it's not gonna just try to override stuff because the code that's running. By rotating this object, the camera orbits this. Very easy to do camera rotation stuff and not having to, you know, do any alternatives that would be a lot more complicated, essentially. So, yeah, that's cool things. Yeah, with this is spherical planet stuff. Very cool. Before I was like, it's kind of working, but I might just, like, you know, say it's good enough. I am now at a point where, like, I'm quite happy with this. So, booyah. Now, wait, do I have anything to reset when I go to play mode? I don't think so. Hopefully not. I'm just now curious to see how does this system behave on the cube planet. Right now, it's going to have the sphere planet gravity. If I wanted to, I could have it behave differently, like have a different kind of gravity where it like it's flat for the surface you're on, and then when you get to the edge, it like flips over. You know, that could be an option. But okay, so that's interesting. I mean, even though it looks weird, it's not completely spazzing out breaking. So I mean, that's actually kind of, you know, that's good, I guess. Interesting. What happens if I make the cube small? Yeah, okay. Interesting. So I do think that a potential way how I might be able to implement that sort of cube gravity, and it, by extension, wobbly planet gravity that isn't a perfect sphere, if it's some weird shape and having the gravity work for what you're standing on, is if the direction of gravity, instead of being based off of the planet that you're on, like the whole planet's center, if it raycasted down, or, yeah, basically if it just raycasted down and got the normal of the planet that you're on and then went based off of that. Do I want to do that now? I could experiment with it. How hard could it possibly be? No. Essentially, I just need a better gravity direction. So if, I mean, you know, it's not great on performance and physics and stuff to raycast every frame, but, you know, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So physics.raycast. Transform dot. And a good thing with the raycast is this could also be useful for if we're not on the ground, slightly in the air. We raycast down to the ground and then go off of that gravity. You know, that would be good. In theory, yeah. Well, we could potentially run into issues if we jumped up really high and there's like a ceiling and we wanted to now suddenly gravitate towards that ceiling. That wouldn't necessarily work unless we raycast it up or something to, to do stuff with that. I don't know, but for just this, should be fine for our testing purposes. So transform. So start at transform.position, us the player. Go transform.down is the direction. Or okay, there isn't a transform.down, so it's just negative transform.up. And then I don't want to hit the player. I forget if it works that way. If the thing that is doing the raycast, if it's on itself, I don't remember if that sets off thing that it hit itself, or if the raycast starts inside a collider, like the player. I don't know if that counts for it immediately hitting itself. But I guess we'll find out. I could set up a layer mask for everything on an environment layer. That's what I usually do in like in my game, Handmade Unicycle. For detecting ground or environment in general. I'm going to see if I can just, for the sake of testing, see if I can get away without doing that. So actually, I will need an out hit info thing. So raycast hit. I forgot the order of how these variables need to be. Am I fine with it? There not being a max distance? I might be. Okay, so can I just go... Not you. Can I just do these three things? Is that an option? This one, yes. So we'll see if that's enough to work. I mean, I could have a max distance of, if there's something that's, if the only planet below you is 100 miles away, do you want to gravitate towards it? In this case, sure, why not? Yeah. I mean, I could have it default to just the universal down if there's nothing, but no. It's... or if it hits nothing, then it'll need to do something. Which I guess if it hits nothing, it could just not change, keep the same direction it had last frame. So that way, if there's some hiccup and for one frame we're not touching the planet, and the next frame we are, it doesn't completely break if we're upside down. It doesn't suddenly decide to try to turn us around, I guess. Okay. Direction to planet center equals... this, but with the point that we hit, I think. Yeah. So hit dot point dot position. Or point is the position. Yeah. It's a vector. And also, since I've now gotten this anyway, if I wanted to do anything with the normals of it, I, in theory, could. So... That's a thing. So I shouldn't need this. I will have an else. Don't change it. Actually, do nothing to have it be whatever it was last frame. Okay, cool. And then do this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what that does. Okay, so let me start. Interesting. I'm just realizing that I no longer use planet. It'll just use whatever's below it. That's interesting. So that I don't need that to be a thing. If I did want each planet to have its own gravity, then I might do stuff with that. Uh-oh. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Wait, does this need to be negative? No, hits that point, master sort of position normalized. Say planet to center, the name is, it's not completely accurate, but it's fine. Uh-oh. Why is that happening? If we're, okay. Well, if us, the capsule, is on an angle, that's gonna behave weirdly. So what I should do is what's used as the transform.position should be at the base of the capsule. Yeah, I'm gonna have it be that way. So we'll go player, and then yes, these have the same name. They're about to not have that, and call this player like model, like as if the model is the capsule, as if that would be the Mario game object thing. So now I gotta just copy everything that needs to go up. So copy component. Nah. A thing is new. Remove. Remove. And copy. And paste is new. Unclap the rigid body. Okay. Copy component. This. Blah. This component is new. Yes, and then delete these here, otherwise we're gonna have catastrophic problems. Okay, so I need to make sure. Oh, right, I have to make sure these are actually, you know, where I want them to be. Otherwise, it defeats the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do. Okay. And I'll move this back like to the center anyway. So like it's like 0, 15, 0. You're at like the center of that, so you probably need to be like 1. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what that does. Okay. I'm thinking that probably helps a tiny bit. Oh, right. I guess I didn't actually confirm at all that the raycast is hitting what I want. Print hit dot game object dot. How do I get the game object out of this? Collider dot game object dot name. My guess is that it's printing the player because of the layer mask thing that I said. So that it's just not really doing at all what it should be doing. Oh. No, it is saving the planet. Okay. Why are you behaving this way then? Starts at the position, go down, we hit. So it didn't print player at all, so actually that does throw my theory out the window. Weird. Oh. It's not printing anything right now. It should be, every frame that we're in contact with the planet, it should be printing. I guess my current theory for that is that the raycast is like right here, going down, so it might not, like, because the rays go on top of each other, it might just not be working how it should. Oh, it's a player model. Oh, you should be exactly 1. I don't know if you were before or not. I'm gonna hope you were. Uh-huh. Why do you fall, though? Why do you fall? Like, it's not getting the same... So in theory, right? In theory, the old way that this was happening... Oh, did I really delete the line? Actually, it was basically this. The old way and the new way should be getting the same numbers on a spherical planet. Because that's how that's supposed to work. Oh, I got rid of this. Well, real quick. I'm gonna actually make these both public so that I can see them for testing purposes. Distance to center 2. And I guess I don't need to print them out. It does concern me that it's not hitting every frame, because I feel like it should be when we're walking along the surface. Otherwise, we might have some weird issues from that. The way to have that, I assume, not happen would be to have some game object that's like not touching the ground, but like slightly above, but or not that. It's more so like like, taking this position, go slightly off the ground and go down. But I can't exactly take the Y of this and go up. Well, I can maybe use the stretch for not up, but then if we have the slight angle, that can have the same issue. And transform up. Well, okay, let me just try this again for now. I have to assign the planet, yes. Planet. Okay, so these numbers should be identical or like really, really close. -1. Oh, wait. How are you all zeros? Oh, no. So you are the correct one. Distance to planet center is the wrong one. Interesting. So first frame, what's happening? We'll deal with the on the ground issue later. Okay. First frame. You both have the right things. Why does that change? The frame that we hit, these get very tiny things. That's fine, I guess. Why did you become 0? Why are you different? What the what? So why did you become all zeros? Oh, because the right. If these points are basically on top of each other, it's gonna be a really tiny vector. Shoot. Okay. So my idea with the having the center being on the ground maybe isn't what we want here. I think I want to keep it like that anyways. But maybe I need like a different game object that's raycasting downwards. Say, or planet check, something like that. Player planet check. That is, because also I did just realize something, that when we were turning this model, turning on this axis probably wasn't a good move for the torque. Going along the base of the planet, this is probably a much better thing to be doing. That may have been causing some of our jitteriness, so that's cool to have figured out, I guess. Okay, so let me just have a reference to that real quick. No, you're still transform. All the wrong things. This is transform, player planet check. I just need a transform to use that's not this one. So use that and go down from that, and then distance like that. And you know what? For same numbers, I'll use the same planet check, I suppose. I'd actually move this thing. Otherwise, we're literally just not going to see any difference. I'm going to go extreme and go at the head of this. Let's see what that does. I worry that's not going to do what I want to. Oh, I dragged in the wrong place. That's fine. That's the planet. Player planet check is that one. Let's see what this does. Okay. Why are you... Oh, so okay, the problem maybe could be something different. Oh, you're actually hitting the player model now. Haha, okay. I'll put you in the center. So it looks like if it starts outside, even if it's on the edge, that it doesn't hit. If it starts inside of something, then it goes right through, I guess is how this works. Okay, still... If the issue's still happening, then, okay, so no. So it's not becoming 0, so that alone wasn't the issue, unfortunately. Okay, so it looks like even without moving, I eventually just fall over. It looks to me what might be happening is that when I turn over a little bit, the gravity is looking from here down, which doesn't match with the base of this, and that's like pull down here, and then that's making it lean over more. But in that case, it should then be falling just into the ground. It shouldn't fly away. It hitting the cube and then deciding to go for the cube, I guess, technically makes sense, but... Oh, you know what? It's not going vector theta down. It's using transform dot down. So it's... Oh. It's using this point and going like this to decide... Well, it's just also that the gravity is to fall here. But I'm worried... the gravity's like this. It's raycasting this way. Wow, I thought this would be easy. Why is this being tricky? Oh, Liam, the Gamer Sweden. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. We are attempting some funky coding things that are not behaving how I would like them to. We are doing a random coding challenge where over the course of the stream I'm trying to just do a coding challenge. The name is generic, so it can mean a lot of things. Right now I'm trying to recreate, kind of, some aspects of Super Mario Galaxy's Gravity with the spherical planet stuff. We did, moments ago, I guess I can bring back how, when it was working, this, use, where are you? This. I guess actually this would be a good check. So, I want this. Oh, not like that. Like that. I'm going to try JavaScript. Ooh, fun, fun, fun. Best of luck with that. It is quite, in ways it's, ooh, that is useful information. It is quite a lot similar to, C#. Well, in having like if statements and for loops are basically the same other than a var. Yeah, okay, interesting that, so it is the whole being off-center thing. That gets trickier to deal with. I mean, so what happens if you did have a box collider? Yeah. Curious. Because the round, like, bottom of it makes it, like, slightly fall over and all that. Oh, interesting. So that kind of self-corrects itself. So it would be interesting if I were to make like a custom collider for this. One that is... Because round is usually better in some cases, I guess. So I could make a custom collider that was like round and then had some flat and then was round. Rather than being completely round. Could maybe be a way of... If I were to go to that effort. I don't think I'm going to do any blendering today. Oops, hold on. I want to change this to being this again. And seeing how that behaves with the different box collider. Wait, did I do the box collider before? No, after. Right, not in play mode, so I don't have to do it again. Okay. Hey! Okay. Really? That's what's going to make that work. Awesome. So if that is the issue, that does then mean that the closer the planet check thing is to the base of the player, the better. So I'm actually going to move it down there. Ramble about food. Food. It is a word that starts with 4 letters. No, I don't know. Why am I blanking my mind on food? Actually, I guess so I would say my favorite food fluctuates. Usually I'd say like pepperoni pizza, but there's other foods that I really, really enjoy. Like pulled pork is great, and ribs, and I don't know, steak, I guess. Yeah, there are a lot of foods that most people like that I don't like, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of foods that I would like to like, but I just don't. I put it in my mouth and my taste buds go blah, and raw cheese is one of them, which is weird because I say I love pizza, but I don't like raw cheese. Mainly cheddar, even cheddar on pizza. Cheddar, big no-no. Hate cheddar. Mozzarella, fine. But not raw. Yeah. Sushi, I have never tried sushi, but I'm not overly fond of fish in general. So I do not think I would like sushi, unfortunately. I have over the years been less picky about trying new things. I'd say I do try a lot of foods. I've never happened to try sushi, so bad example, but there are lots of, like, I've tried a bunch of different cheeses, and all of them are terrible. No, and I've had snail before, otherwise known as escargot, which is French, so that absolves me of all picky eater criticisms. That was also awful, but you know, yeah, so I try a lot of foods. I just don't like a lot of foods, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I like most cheese. Cool. Yeah, wish I could be the same. It genuinely, like, makes part of my life harder to not like certain foods. Like, I don't like most salads, or basically any salads. I don't like lettuce in general. So at most restaurants where you get a salad, I basically can't do any of that. So yeah, I mean, I can if I want to eat things that are disgusting. No, but yeah, and then even people usually put like, some people put cheese on salads, mainly when you go to, like, more Italian places like Eastside Mario's. Yeah, I can't do that either. No, anyway though, but yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to think of other. I know there's other common foods I don't like, but I'm completely blanking on it at the moment, so whatever, it's fine. It's funny, one way that I've kind of gotten around that a little bit is, like, there's some vegetables that I wouldn't say that I like, but one thing that I've done is blending up a bunch of vegetables and making a shake out of it, and I am able to drink that, so it's like, haha, fooling my taste buds by, like, blending a bunch of vegetables together with, like, a banana or something. No, I don't know. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so I would say I still, like, even though I don't like certain foods or whatever, I still eat decently healthy. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, do eat my greens to some degree. Anyways, but yeah, also this movement is great. I'm loving how this is turning out. I want to test real quick. So right now the planet check, or the planet reference is no longer needed in theory. So I should be free to do this. Nope, this one. And gravitate onto the cube. Oh, nope, missed it. That's fine. Get to the cube. Okay, I have to land on it, otherwise that ain't gonna work. Hold on. Let's reset that real quick. Oh, solve it. Oh yeah. 1 second, surely. Can do. Where did the player go? Oh, I'm on the game camera. Of course, I'm not gonna see them. Player, be on cube planet, please. Okay. Aha. So that worked, and I didn't have to, like, set anything up. Now, I don't think this is gonna go well. Let's find out. If I'm slow, it works. If I'm fast, no way. Yeah, it's not gonna work for that. That's fine-ish. If I were to now, let's make sphere planet. I'll do that in a second. Let me just finish. We've got hours of my code not working. It's finally working, and I want to enjoy it. No, not that. Go with it just in ellipse. Let's make a different color because we can. This one will be blue. And let's make a color for the sphere, the box planet. Yellow. Yellow on blah. Blue on blah. Now gotta actually change those materials. Let's go slightly like that, I guess, because why not? And then yellow, it's like a limey yellow because sure. Maybe it's like slightly more towards orange. Now let's go like, because why not? Oh wait, I'm gonna be starting on ball planet, so I have to actually move myself to escape it. Okay, hold on. This, not you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, you still have a sphere collider. 1 second. I can fix that by doing a little bit of... If you have a mesh collider, are you gonna make you even convex? Well, like, yeah, you're... Wait, what? Oh, I put you on the wrong thing? Fair enough. Whatever, it's fine. Sphere, convex, and you stop. No, I fall. No. Up you go. If I can just... The kind of initiating the landing on the planets is not being completely in my favor. If I can just... Like, once it's, like, on the planet, it seems to be more inclined to behave properly. Aha. Okay. Working decently. Almost. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's, like, close enough. I'd be interested in building a, like, bowl shape to see how that behaves, but I'm not... maybe I'll do that real quick. Real quick, making, like, a bowl. Can I see how far you've come in your other game? Yeah, you surely can. It'll take a minute for me to load up, but yeah, surely I can do that. Also, I'll do the cube. Haven't forgotten. Let me just make a quick bowl thing here. Hey with Unicycle is currently opening. Yeah, that is coming along quite well. Still has lots of progress to be made. I don't know. So if I want to make like a half pipe or like a bowl, I think we'll go full bowl. Actually, this will be more likely to work better with a lot more vertices. So in this tiny project, I don't need to concern myself with vertice, like performance that much. So just gonna go like this. Actually, deciding ways I want to go about this. Where is haven't used Blender in a minute, so I had to remember things. Blah, and then we're just gonna go like solidify. There you are. There you go. Blah. Don't know. Actually, I want to solidify you on the outside. I'm deciding. Cool. I don't care about... Oh, that's a different thing. Let me find this project that we're currently in. That's going to be here. Coding challenges. This guy. This. I don't have a models folder. We're about to, though. Okay. Bowl. Dot blend. Don't care about anything else about that. Oh, it's been a minute. Hello, one hit. Hi. Welcome. We are doing a coding challenge where I've tasked myself with attempting to, complete a certain challenge in a game. Yeah. Oh. I just got an idea with I just got an idea with a thing that how I can make something that's been breaking break a little bit less. Or actually, I'm deciding if I even want to do that in the first place. Actually, never mind. Ignore me. Okay. This, that. You can stop existing. But yeah, so we're attempting to recreate Mario Galaxy Gravity. Well, also I have two other things I'm in the middle of waiting for things to load. My Handmade with a Unicycle game, because I was going to show off how some of that is looking, and also someone redeemed Solver Rubik's Cube, so I am going to do that in a minute. I just want to test this real quick because it's like so close to maybe working. You double check. Oh, that undid. Hold on. 1 second. Planet. Planet 2. Remove you. Mesh collider. You can be convex. I just wonder if there's like too few vertices on how this is stretching. Oh, that is doing some wonky things, but I guess that's okay. Okay, models. Bowl. Get in here. Actually, I'm just gonna do generate colliders. Normals. Calculate. Everything else is fine. Actually, no. Don't import visibility, camera, or lights. Okay, and a few more things. Rigs, none. Import animation, none. Materials, I'll make my own. Or there are no materials on it. It's fine. Okay. Un momento, por favor. Okay. And you're really tiny, so let's change that. Whoa. 10. That size good? I guess so. Actually, it might be too big, but where? I'm gonna find out. Okay, let's see how this behaves. I don't know if it's gonna fully work, but that's what we're here to find out. Okay, so once I'm actually stuck... okay. It's not loving it. It's trying to, like, pull me back down. Okay, this would be easier if I was, like, near the edge, kind of. Interesting behavior. Why am I being pulled down like that? I'm being pulled back down towards, like, the center of the bowl. Weird. Because once I'm there, it should be pulling me, like, where I am. Because that's what I've instructed it to do. So I thought. Yeah. Your other game? Yes, yes. One momento. Let's try to see if I have this be working. Oh, what is this? What is pulling me like that? I'm not sure. Might be a problem with the bolt self or something like that. Not sure why that's happening. Yeah, one second. I will get to my other thing. Weird. Oh, right. No, the part of why this is having problems is because of the box thing. A little bit. 1 second. This, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of. Oh, that didn't do quite what I wanted to. Wait, did I? Oh. Why? Oh, did I move the wrong things? I probably moved the wrong things. Oh, I totally did. I totally did, and that's why things aren't behaving properly. That would make more sense. I moved the wrong, I moved, like, the child game object and not the parent one. Okay, yeah. Let me just do this real quick, because this will probably be the last thing I do with this game. Maybe. Or this, like, you know, coding challenge. Okay. Getting fed up of the games I'm playing right now. If I get back to learning coding and make my own games. Ooh, fun. Yeah. Oh, okay, yes! That's more expected behavior. I was so worried and confused. Haha, it's actually working. Yeah! Awesome. Bowl. Now, going over the lips doesn't love that. Well, it can be fine if I'm slow, but yeah, and then this becomes like the sphere planet. And I can fall all the way to here. Oh, not if I bounce off of it like that. I have to kind of hit it dead on with the way it's currently working. Ha! I call that a success. That's good enough for me. I have no reason to, but let me just give it a quick material other than being white. Colors. Let's make this like a magenta, I guess, because it was the color I thought of. That's more of a purple, but yeah. It does not matter. It does not matter. Okay, because I can, I'm just gonna move it a bit closer. It's fine. Okay, that's that. Okay, things were redeemed. Let me catch up with all that. Rubik's Cube time. First of all, where is over here? Come on, webcam. Hello, I exist. You can see the other screen with the way it's turning. I can do a bit of, yeah. There we go. That's my other monitor just playing background music from big random playlist. Okay, timer. I almost launched a hat in time by accident. What was being autofilled? Okay, stopwatch. Is this gonna be on the right screen? No. Okay. Hold on. Actually, I've changed my setup recently, and this is my first time doing the Rubik's Cube thing since getting a new monitor a few hours ago. So, and I was working on changing stuff with my setup, and then finished the rest of the setting up. Just don't mind me quickly setting up a timer. All right, last time was 53 seconds. I remember that I was surprised that I got under a minute with that time, because I thought the beginning was really slow, but I think the end of that solve was faster. So, yeah, that's a thing. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. No chance to look. Oh, I should have looked. Where's white? There it is. Okay. Yeah. And I had to find the other colors. It's fine. I will do that Rubik's Cube learning stream eventually. Why can't I? Where's what I'm looking for? That's not entirely what I meant to do. Oh, that's gonna cost me some turns. Wow, I really just like, I was like looking like, I just can't find the pairs I'm looking for. No, not like this. Don't do me like this. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, F2L is not my strong suit. Blah. On oil I actually kind of knew. And then blah. This 3, 2, 1, and buttons. That was a 56. That was a 56. I say that was a 56. I struggled to mouse over to stop button. Haha. Woo. Ramble about this. Your time. Bam. Wah. I say that was a 56. I was looking. Maybe it was even a 55. I don't know. Depending on how you want to time that. But I say that was pretty decent. Oh no. The beginning. F2L was not good there, and even the cross was like, why? I didn't look beforehand, so I had to like orient of where white even was, so that wasted some time. But yeah, cool. I'll take that. Go to this one, and then angle this back this way. I will make. I'll figure out stuff with making that better. I'm still tinkering around with my setup of how my monitors are arranged and blah blah blah. Anyways, cool. Huzzah! I saw 2 minutes? I don't think so. I don't think it took that long. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool that it's still under a minute, because that, yeah, doesn't happen overly often. But yeah, woo. Anyways, so yeah, also, yeah, Liam, you wanted to see the Handyman unicycle in its current state? Well, here it is. And Shazam, woo. So, well, many things need explaining. I guess I can't just go into it. So first of all, no explanation needed. Just look at how cool this is. Menu things, woo. That took a lot of setup to get that to be where it is. But also, error. Oh no, not error. Oh no. I was just about to say, like, this isn't behaving exactly how it should. I might have a quick peek at what's doing that. How are you? Oh, no. Because there's supposed to be another piece of that menu that was missing. Oh, I know. Oh, I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. It's actually not a problem with my code. Hold on. Okay, Visual Studios is. Okay. I'm gonna be kind of locked out of Unity until this does its thing. I know what the problem is, and it's actually not with my code. Or it is, but not in a way that, in a way that's fine and not a problem. So right now the save data that it's pulling in is configured with stuff that I'm doing for the demo of the game that I'm making. This hub world stuff is configured differently, more with how the real game's gonna be, and they're conflicting and you know, problems there. So all I need to do is have it refresh the save file. Having just delete and make from scratch. Why is it not doing it? Hold on here. I'm trying to remember how. If I just check all of those real quick. I have some debug buttons that are doing things. Have you streamed 4 hours? It's a lot. For me, it's actually not a lot. I mean, it is a lot, but not, hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, maybe you are, no, maybe you are working now. Okay, cool. Whatever I did, it's fine, that's working. Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, I've done many, like, longer streams before. My first 2 streams I ever did were both, like, 12 hours or something. Because, yeah, there's, like, all day on a Saturday and then, like, all day on a Sunday. So, yeah. Anyways, though, so, okay. Yeah, this is partially what this menu is supposed to look like. If I do some quick cheating and modify my save file stuff, this. First of all, level, and the boss level. Once you beat the boss level, actually, if you just, hold on, blah, thing over there doing things. I'll explain things better in a second. I'm just quickly making sure that it's all still working the way it's supposed to. Yeah, okay. Waha, look at this menu transition. Yeah. History for a for a longer lull. Yeah, I have done some quite long streams before. It's called having time to do things. No. Yeah. Woo. That's cool. This took a lot of work to get working the way that it is. And it does. It has, like, reasons for, why things are the way they are beyond just looking cool. So, yeah. All right. So this is one of the main things we've been working on for the last little bit. But first, I'm going to jump in over here. I don't remember what this game looked like the last time you've seen it, Liam. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah. Oh. Then re-downloading Unity, fun. I actually just downloaded a new version of Unity today, and I'm actually in it right now, so yeah. And by the way, how's school going? The US school. Oh, yeah, or, yeah, but, so, one hit, I've actually done school for now, so that's really cool. I graduated in May well, or my actual graduation was in June, I think, if I'm remembering dates correctly, but I finished my last exam in April and all that. Anyways, but yeah, so I am done school, if I so desire. However, I plan on going back for my master's degree, so that, or I'm going to try to. We'll see how that goes. However, I've decided that I wanted to take a year off as a break from a decade of school, and yeah, and also to try and, like, but before I go back, I've been kind of learning more programming stuff in my free time and different aspects of certain programming things, blah, 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 before I go back. So it'll be a bit, like, you know, slightly easier, you know, to have more prior knowledge going into how, you know, more complicated programming is going to get when I get back into it in a school setting. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So yeah, but I do plan on going back in a year, so that's going to be happening. And or hopefully, I still have to, you know, apply and get accepted and all that. So, you know, it's not a guarantee, but we'll see how all that goes. Nice, bro? Yeah. Very cool. But yeah. Woo. Anyway, so back with this game, I just was walking around doing random things. I guess I can explain myself a bit. So, I also do a brief recap of, not everything, but most things, because some people might find that interesting. So, first thing I want to say is that objectives thing on the left will not be as big as it currently looks. I think that most levels usually will have 2 of those, and I think the text itself will probably be shorter. Because I'll be able to get the point across in a real level setting in fewer words. Yeah, but basically we have objectives, and this test level has one of every possible type of objective. When you might go into a level and there would be 1 of those, or maybe like 2 of those, right? I think it would be rare for there to be 5. Probably. We'll see. I could be wrong. And if there ends up being lots of objectives, I will probably shrink it down. Although I do want to make sure that it's still legible. So, all that sort of stuff. Secret levels? So, ish. Okay, so, well, no, but I have actually, well, I'll explain myself of halfsies. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly go through my test level here. So we have, like, yeah, the objectives thing. When you complete all your objectives, this thing that is basically our end level platform that I'm gonna make look a lot fancier later, make it actually look all spectacular and whatever. But yeah, treat this like touching a gold ring in a Sonic game or getting a star in a Mario game. Hopefully it'll be that fancy looking or whatever. You touch this, cool level complete screen. If you hit continue, it's a spring. It's a giant spring that launches you back to the hub world. And that's a thing that I wanted to do out of that. So yeah, that's cool. We getting launched into other levels. You notice all the UI comes on screen right when I get into the level. There's the strikes there. They have to do stuff. I have some debug buttons to auto win and auto lose. If I press this button, I'm gonna auto fail. Whoops, you got sued. And you can restart. Fancy curtain transition. That's pretty cool and all. We got our yeah, speed boost things, hazards and all that. Our power-ups, which I'm still I don't know how they're gonna end up being in the final game. We're gonna see. Yeah, other hazards, cannon in a level rather than just the going in and out thing. Cannons that shoot stuff, projectiles. They can spin. Other type of hazard that's like a fire hazard. That's pretty cool. Moving platforms, and that's as far as this goes for now. You can fall off a level and like respawn and all that. That's cool. Pause screen. Oh, as of like the last stream, I think, where you can now actually use the mouse for these options. Before, I could either have it be one way or the other. You press W and S going up and down, or the mouse thing, but not both at the same time. I was struggling to have one bit of code not break the other. But now it is working properly, so yeah, that's a cool thing. Probably, actually, it might still need some work. I actually don't know what would happen if while it was fading out, I had tried to click another button there. I forget how that behaves, but hopefully it's fine. We'll get to small bugs like that when they become more relevant. They're actually bugs. Anyways, but yeah, so then Hub World here that we have, basically you have these level map pieces or whatever this will actually be in terms of actual better 3D model stuff. Screenshot of the level. This screenshot's a placeholder. I think a real screenshot won't be an overview of the whole level. It'll be something like up close or something like that. Better screenshot. Just imagine this being a lot better, with an actual better level. If you hit confirm, then the whole hub world. Actually, right now we're in this level, so it doesn't do anything. If I go to this one, that is not a good screenshot. It's very dark. This was a nighttime level, but still. Levels have names, so that's cool. I hit confirm. This level flies away, and with a slight bit of sugariness that is being worked on. Now we're in this level, and then you get in the cannon and fly down there and start that level. So that's cool and all. Huzzah. And now we're in that other level. And as well, so now how this save data works. I have some debug buttons to basically make certain behaviors happen. I'm in 8th grade in school. Cool. I remember when I was in 8th grade, and yeah, then I flew through high school, flew through university. It goes by fast. But yeah, enjoyed doing it, and I do not regret doing it or anything like that. Yeah. Okay, so, what was I saying? So, basically off of like a new save file, the first world, depending on how I do tutorial stuff, might have extra different rules, but ignoring tutorial stuff, maybe. Every world after that, maybe the final world might have special stuff with the final boss, whatever. The worlds would be set up like this. You have your sequence of, you have your levels spread about here. You could do the levels in any order. I can go to this level, and I can do it if I want. I am not used to the mouse. Like, I've gone so long with the mouse not affecting these that I'm not used to it doing that. You see the X thing above them? That basically is your how many... I might change like the wording of what it is, but right now it's when you're in a level, you get strikes when you're doing badly in it. You get 3 strikes, you're out. When you beat a level, it records like how many strikes did you have left. If you had 1 strike left, you were really close to failing. 2 strikes, okay, you did okay, or you're pretty good. If you have 3 strikes left, then that's how you perfect a level. I think it may change the terminology to it turning into some kind of like reputation of the carnival kind of a thing. So it's like, ooh, you want to get as many of that as possible. Whatever. But right now, the terminology is how many strikes left that you had when you beat the level. So 0, because you haven't beaten that level yet. If I mess with numbers, if I do this and save, no, it won't save. It now thinks that I've beaten that level, right? So now it's like a 2. Like, you beat the level and you had 2 strikes left. If I change this to a 3 and save, the X isn't there anymore because, like, oh, you 100%ed it. You 100%ed this level. Good for you. Yeah. Graphically, more stuff might be done to this. Like, a new level that you haven't done yet, I might have it, like, glow some color to kind of stand out more compared to the other levels. But I can tell at a glance, like, that level's done, still have to do that level. So I like that I can see that from a distance without having to go into this to be able to tell have I beat the level or not. Also, the border of the screenshot, I might change that depending on things. Like, different colors might mean different things. Anyways, so you can do the levels in any order. Once you've done that, so if I've beaten, I'm just putting in numbers that say that I've beaten those 2 levels. You've beaten all the levels in a world, boom, boss level. So now you gotta do that one. Then you do this, let's say that, like, I'm now, oops, actually, I probably shouldn't be in the menu when I change the thing, it might not like that. when you beat the boss level, then ta-da, next world unlocked. You go over here, I guess. Again, imagine everything graphically looks way fancier. And then you have another set of levels. You do 3, boss unlocked, you do the boss, you go to the next world, rinse and repeat until the end of the game. First world might have like a tutorial level in front of all that, we'll see. So figuring out the exact way how I want to do that. But yeah, so that's cool and all. But then, more so, you may have noticed some red things on it before. If you 100% every level in a world, get the 3 strikes on every level in a world, let me save that. Then now there's these red numbers, and the green one moved to the side. What does that mean? It means that you've unlocked hard mode for every level in the world. Yeah. So when you flip between normal and hard, it has a different title. It has a different screenshot. These are not good screenshots because this looks like the same one but mirrored. It's a completely different screenshot. It just happened to look like that, so whoops. The strikes thing, it flips over, and the hard mode has its own strikes that it keeps track of. And yeah, so hard mode is a thing for each level. So now if I were to pretend that I've beaten that, then yeah, now it's like a ×2 or times whatever. If I've 100%ed it, blah. Oops, wrong button. This and this, then ta-da! Then this is like that I've 100%ed this world. That I have done all the things, and that might have its own graphical stuff with it. But basically, levels where you see these X's are levels that you have not fully 100%ed, is how that's gonna work. I think I might maybe have it where, for a level that you haven't even beaten, like these, might not have the strikes up there at all. Like, that might just not be there, perhaps. Still working that out. Still, we'll see. But yeah, so that is my proposed level structure for the game. Now, you asked about secret levels. I've decided that I don't want to do that. I considered, let's say a world has 5 levels. Maybe you could do any 4 of them and then move on. The problem with that is going from world to world. I have 0. I wouldn't. How would I put it? Any levels that are optional, I have to go through the whole game with the story making sense if the player has done that level and if the player has not done that level. I want this game to have a decent amount of story and cutscenes and all that sort of stuff, and that makes that a lot more complicated. By making every level mandatory, I can know that at this point in the game, the character has done all of these levels. And that will just make the story way easier for me to plan stuff around. And I can have callbacks like, hey, remember we did that thing? Or in this level, you meet a character, and then now they're a character that might, appear in a later level. It would be hard to do that and have that make sense if any level is optional. So I would like levels to be mandatory for that reason. Also, when you think about having secret levels, that's in terms of like the level being off to the side, like what the level means for the whole scope of the game. When you have a secret level, that might often be because you want to have like a special level, a level where you do things differently, or it's like a difficulty spike, or something that's different than the norm. Well, to that I say, I basically, I don't want to treat my levels like there's the normal boring levels and then there's cool secret levels. I want all of my levels to be cool, I guess. I don't know if I'm explaining that good, but like that's kind of my reasoning with it. I'd rather, I want every level to be special, cool level and to stand out from all of them. In theory, obviously in practice we'll see what happens, but like, yeah, I don't know. Also, there's already things already complicated enough. I didn't mention that what does beating the hard modes do? I'm still having to work that out. I'd like there to be some kind of 100% reward, but beyond that, I'm still working out exactly what beating hard mode is going to do. But I want it to do something, I guess. Also, the difference between beating the hard mode levels and 100%ing the hard mode levels. Those are 2 different requirements that can have their own rewards. Secret boss. That I would say has the same. Hey, thanks for the pin. Thank you, Liam. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Secret boss, exact same qualifications, because that would be even harder, because I'd have to make this, boss that is then optional, that then story stuff that like I'd have to account for potentially, the player not having fought that boss. I would like, to be able to have this narrative going through the game and not have to have certain things be optional that I then have to make the story make sense if that thing has been done or not been done. The long and short of that. Yeah, I do want bosses though. Like as I said, each world. At the moment, the plan is that each world will end with a boss level, so that'll be cool and all. I mean, there is a bit of non-linearity to this, right? Like, sometimes when you have secret levels, it's to have this non-linearity type stuff. I am having that all the worlds in a level... Wait. All the levels in a world you can beat in any order. So there is some non-linearity there, so that's cool and all. But just you have to beat everyone to continue. What? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what that do. Hey! Thank you! Thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you. I forget how much. Thank you. I forget how much that translates to. I don't know off the top of my head. But thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I think if I'm not, I think is 1 bit 1 cent. Is that how that works, or is it 10 cents? Something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. But still, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Also worth mentioning that this skybox is not how, like, look at the top hat. Wow, it's still not a great skybox. Imagine the whole thing was like this. This bottom being completely white, that's not what I want out of these skyboxes. It's just, this is what I found for now. It's like, it works good enough. And finding a good skybox where the bottom half actually has stuff in it has been really hard. I was gonna kind of experiment with making my own skyboxes. That hasn't gone well yet, so that's still good. Hey, thank you for another bit. Thank you. Yeah. So, anyways, still a lot of planning to be done. Still a lot of stuff that I'm figuring out. But I really like how this game is turning out so far, and hopefully it'll continue to turn out good. So now, what am I doing with this? When I was making a lot of this, I was making all this generic stuff, making this the infrastructure from which the whole game will be built off of. I think that I've made enough of that now that like now what I'm working on is actually planning a demo of the game specifically and working towards that. So let me just have that not be orange. So I've been doing a lot of typing, lots of typing. Falls apart a bit the lower you get, but still things that I'm figuring out. Yeah, so this is the demo that I'm planning, and it's gonna contain stuff. It's gonna contain 3 levels. I bought 500 bits. It was $10. Oh, well, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So, what words was I saying? So this demo I'm planning is gonna have 3 levels, and then the hub world that's connecting all of it. And then the demo hub world will definitely look different than the final game's hub world, just by the nature of how it needs to be. So yeah, still figuring out levels, but I have ideas for levels. This forest level, this in a submarine level, and this heist in a skyscraper level, which I'm looking forward to this. If my idea for this works out well, hopefully it will, then that's gonna be cool. So of these 3, for reasons, I've decided that the first one I'm gonna be making is this one. Submarine in a volcano. So this will likely be the first bit of proper gameplay that you guys see that isn't a test level. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to the point of it having all the nice fancy assets and polish and all that. It's gonna take a while, of course. You know, we have this at the moment. Where is it? New demo. Do I want to save anything here? Probably fine. I think that was just from my save manager stuff. Actually, wait, hold on. No. You need to. No, I guess you're fine. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. Why did you break? Oh no. You know what? You're fine. Oh no, this is no. You are how you're supposed to be. Never mind. Hold on. Wait. No. I need to just fix thing before I break a thing. You need to have these off. Yes. Okay. Blah. And then demo this. I have a giant white square, which does not work well with this background, but yeah, so this is a thing. Also I didn't mention, I'm not completely confirmed on this idea yet, but with the style of the submarine, I was thinking I was going to experiment with a kind of steampunk-ish design. And that's going to maybe be a thing. Rather than it just being a submarine. It's like, okay, like just metal. We'll see. I'm going to figure stuff. I'm still figuring stuff out with it, but it might be a steampunk-ish submarine in a volcano. It's going to be entirely interior. Well, maybe like 99% interior. I have some ideas of how that I might be breaking that rule. But yeah, I have ideas and still fleshing out how exactly stuff's going to look, and then actually, going to block out the level and all of that. I do have something that I'm thinking that I want to try doing that I think will be neat, is that I want to build the level in black and white, essentially, and really get like the lighting to be good and the colors, more so the contrast of things, to be good despite it being in black and white, and then add color to it. In a way. So that might be something I experiment with. Although, having some colors in mind going into it, we'll see. I mean, to some degree, I might, like, color things, but then have, like, the post-processing, I just turn down the contrast, or not the contrast, turn down the saturation, and then I could build things in color. I think that could be, one, a neat thing to try, and then could hopefully make to a good-looking level if the, saturation of things is good. Have you played Cult of the Lamb? That's something that came out recently, I think, right? If I remember what that is. No. But I've very, ish heard of it. Did it just come out recently, or is this an old thing? It came out in August of this year. Okay, fair enough. So, no. It's like, it is what I was thinking it was. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wasn't it made by the people who made Don't Starve? Am I correct on that? Yeah, it has the kind of art style of that a little bit. Interesting. Yeah. Very cool. But yeah, no, yeah, have not at the moment. Yeah, anyways though. But yeah, so this is the Hey with the Unicycle. I'm very much looking forward to getting out of test level territory and like where this is gonna go from here. I just gotta actually, do it. I am, with me and making games, I still say that like level design is the thing that I struggle with the most. Alright, I can make a level in theory. Making a good level is hard. I've done so much studying of like, watching YouTube videos about level design and seeing like examples and reading through like lots of articles and all that. But then getting to the point of actually attempting to, make a level hard. I overthink things a lot. It's like, what exactly do I want to do to have this be, the best level that it can be and all that. But a lot of it comes with, practice. So hopefully, over making a few levels, I can, make good levels and all that. And that's one thing that's nice with the demo, is that I can use the demo as this playground to test ideas and then see what works and what doesn't. And then going into the real game from that, maybe some aspects of the demo levels will be used in the final game. Maybe an entire level will just be used with like minimal changes or whatever. Or some levels might be scrapped entirely, like if they don't turn out very good. But we'll see. Let's comment that code. So I have a problem with my code is not commented, or most of my code is not commented at all. You see this kind of stuff where there's like English notes beside code? These are comments. It's basically writing in like your documentation of how the code works, so that when you look back at it, you know how it works. Or when you're working with a team, if other people look at your code, they know how it works. A lot of my code does not have it, and it's usually a good programming thing to have it. So just for fun, I made a thing you can redeem. Please don't redeem that right now. I'd prefer, because I'm about to probably end the stream very shortly, and I don't, yeah, not at the moment, please. What was I saying? Yeah, force me to comment my code. It's a funny thing to just have be another thing to redeem, but also, yeah, eventually will, over time, have me go through the process of actually having all this stuff be properly, like, good code and stuff. Anyways, but yeah, so that's just a small thing there. Yeah, Hey with the Unicycle, though, yeah, looking forward to how this is going to shape up. Very soon I'm going to be, actually, within the next few days, I think, I'm going to start to actually be attempting to block out that submarine levels. I have a lot of ideas, it's just getting those ideas, like, sorted out to the nitty gritty of like what exactly is where. Like, exactly, we're gonna have a room here and like a ramp here and a slope over here and this hazard over here and blah blah blah. Getting to that is yeah, gonna be tricky, but you know, gonna play around with ideas and we'll see how that goes. Redeem it, you say, no, not at the moment, please. At like the beginning of the next stream maybe, but not right now, for my sanity. No, actually it is almost 2 a.m. and I do have to do stuff tomorrow, so I do kind of need to, you know, get going. But yeah, so, but anyways, yeah, you'll see more stuff with the Hammer of the Unicycle in the coming weeks, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. And we'll see at what, like, when I get to a point where I want to stream stuff again. Oh, ramble about nothing? Alright, guess the stream's over now. Or does that just mean to not ramble at all? Which basically is a way to say get back to work. Gotcha. No. Anyways, though, the actual focus of this stream, I think this was a success. I am happy with the results of this. You know, it's not perfect, but I didn't think it was going to be. The fact that like we went so long with it being super jittery and now it's not is great. Yeah, this is great. For those maybe just joining, the thing I was trying to do in this stream was getting kind of Mario Galaxy gravity a little bit. It works best on the spherical planet, as you might imagine. So let me just get over there real quick. It's fine. No, it's not fine. I was thinking of another way. Like, it's when it's out like this, instead of just continuing to fall the way that it was falling, it falling to the last point, or that it detected, could be a way to, well, to never have it fall infinitely like that, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, wheels, wow. I mean, a sphere is like not a wheel, but it could be. I don't know. Yeah, let me just get on my sphere planet real quick. I moved the wrong object again. That's not gonna work. Here, let me put, to fix that for future things, the camera pivot, follow the player, not the player model. Then, if that happens, I will know that it's a problem immediately. Okay. Let me just go 0, 15, 0. Okay. Blah. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Look at that spherical planet movement. Woo, booyah. Woo. I'm happy with this. Just this alone, I'm happy that this is working as well as it is. Yeah, very pleased with the results. And as I said, it was being very like weird and finicky and jittery for a while, but we got through it in the end. And I didn't have to look anything up, so that was also cool. I was debating that I was gonna like look up some of my old code or whatever, or my code with the Handing with the Unicycle for some similar things that I did there, but I didn't have to. So I mean, I could look anyways just to compare what I did to what I've done now, but nah, it's fine. Yeah, so that's cool. So I think, wrapping things up, this here ends the first Cyberchroma coding challenge, I guess, if that's what I'm calling this. I think this might be a potential series of things that basically, I might do this again, sometimes, to just, have some, I think the most common version of this would be, I take a mechanic in a game and try to recreate it. This time being Mario Gravity, another time, you know, something else. It's not limited to that. I can decide, like, make an inventory system or something like that. Yeah. I would like to do things where I'm in the same vein of my tutorials, where I don't just try to, like, implement a mechanic. Well, I mean, I did here, but, like, I'd like to have an end result of, like, an end thing to play through, I guess. Like, I'm trying to think of an example of where that wouldn't be the case. Like, hold on. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head. But where I have this, like, project, this working thing to play around with by the end of it, as opposed to just, like, if I just had something that was only an inspector thing. Although if I was doing, like, a custom editor challenge, you know, that'd be exempt from that. But if I was just, like, make a binary search tree, you know, that's not something that would have be a challenge. It'd be like, do this thing that would require making a binary search tree to get a thing to happen. As an example, like maybe some version of like a dialogue system if you only had 2 options going all the way down, maybe. But I don't know. Probably better ways to go about such a thing. Anyways, or like make saving. okay, save what? Like, in an example like that, I would be like, do something to save a password, or, yeah, I see slurp, can do. Hopefully it made my examples make sense of what I'm talking about. But, yeah, although there's no rules with this, I'll make stuff up on the fly as I go. Like, I did say, I'm gonna repeat myself again, that the coding challenges are meant to be like one-off stream things, but I might, you know, not do that. Like, I might have a stream where it's like, take the Mario Galaxy thing and continue it to add some other functionality or something like that. Or if something's like a big project that, yeah, it can be over the course of multiple streams if I'm not happy with how it is at the end of one stream. But the point is to try and have it be these little condensed things that I don't let get too over-scoped and like I'm spending a week on such a challenge. Although we'll see, yeah, we'll see. Another cool thing would be if I took stuff like this and then applied it to some of my actual games, like the Heavy RPG cycle. Experimenting with small random things like this could help give me ideas and just learn more stuff with Unity. Like, one thing I want to do is experiment with multiplayer networked, or I'd probably start with like split screen multiplayer and then work my way to like maybe networked multiplayer. Although with something like that, I have to look into like server things with like Unity has gone back and forth between different ways of how you do networking stuff. I would like to find something free for something like that, as I'm not making a game anytime immediately that's going to be having network multiplayer. I'm not going to pay for server stuff to get that up and running for a one-off stream thing. So it's something like that, you know, limiting myself to free options preferably. Actually, with network, I'd also have to figure something out for how I would stream that, because I would need, like, I have a laptop, so I could have, like, you know, one version of the game running on this computer, one version running on laptop, and somehow make that work. I could also use, like, virtual machine, literally just having two things of Unity open. Like, there's options, but I have to figure out how I could, the best way I could do that, both for me working on it and also for it to make sense for the stream and all that. But yeah, anyway, that's stuff I would figure out if I do that hypothetical challenge. Yeah. So now I did also say at the beginning of this that I might try to take this stream footage and turn it into a YouTube video, because having the coding challenges being YouTube video things, I don't know if that's gonna happen, because my initial plan of in OBS, get ready for infinite OBS, everyone. Yeah, I didn't, so you can stream and record. I was gonna try and do that at the same time. My CPU could not handle it, or GPU, whatever. Could not handle that, it seemed. Oh, hold on, don't do that. Okay, yeah. So that didn't happen, which means that the audio and stuff from this is my vocals mixed with the background music that's been playing this whole time, as opposed to being separated. So that kind of throws a wrench in my plans there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, with YouTube video stuff, like, I want to continue doing that at some point. I've just needed to find time to do it. I haven't made a video in quite a long, well, in a few months, basically the beginning of the summer. Well, university summer, effectively. Not July, but more, actually, when was the last video I made? It was like, I want to say it was like in May, maybe, something like that. I made like 5 videos in like the span of a week or something, I think. Or was it late April? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I could go look up the dates myself, but I don't want to abandon my YouTube channel. I just don't have the time to like, the streaming takes way less time. I mean, I'm saying, you know, it's been almost 4 hours, but still less time to do one Twitch stream versus one YouTube video, especially when, depending on like how much work I want to put into them. Like, I would love to make more videos in the vein of my submarine video, but that took 7 months effectively to make, so there's that. Although I would say like a lot of that was messing around and learning things and whatever. If I were to remake the same video, it would take a fraction of the time, but still. Also, part of that was me making the animated character that is my logo and all that. Speaking of that, I actually I have another side thing that might happen eventually that is to mess with that, maybe. I wanted to experiment with bringing all that stuff into Unity and seeing where that could go. Mainly in Unity, messing around with actual programming and like rigid body stuff and explosions and whatever. Yeah, there might be a potential of making intro animation 2.0 in Unity instead of Blender, which seems like you might have it be the other way around, but I'm programmer guy, not animator guy, so I don't know, I thought it could be something just to mess around with. Even if it doesn't work, it could be just interesting to experiment with. But anyways, that's its own rabbit hole I will go down eventually. But yeah, So anyways, though, I think I probably rambled enough as I just go around my spherical planet here. Still happy that, yeah, this turned out good. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna get going. I think first coding challenge thing was a success. Huzzah. I don't know the next time that I'll be streaming or what the next stream will even be. This is just, yeah, thing that I wanted to do just because I could, and so I did. Even the next coding challenge thing, I don't know what that would be. This was just, yeah, this worked as a good, like, experimental first challenge. And also I went into it, as I said, I went into it knowing, but having a rough idea of how I was gonna go about it, so I didn't have to spend a lot at the beginning of the stream humming and hawing over how I was actually gonna do it. I mean, I kind of did in the middle when things started going wrong with that. we got there, we got through it in the end, so yeah. Anyways, I can keep repeating myself all night, or I can actually get some sleep. So I'm gonna go do that. But yeah, whatever I'm up to next, you'll see it eventually in the near future, hopefully. In the midst of whatever other Unity stuff I'm doing, the main thing, hopefully, that I'll be working on is the whole, you know, the Handmade with Unicycle. I still want that to kind of be my top priority as I find time to plan stuff. It's just being hard. I am in for a while, I'm still in the middle, but kind of, I think, getting out of now a little bit of like a writer's block of planning, more so with the level design side of things. But I'm getting through it, and hopefully I will, yeah, get through it enough to actually have a level blocked out sometime soon. Because I don't just want to make a level. I want to make a good level. I want, you know, to actually, you know, this first bit of actual gameplay, I want it to be a good representation of what the game can be, and making the best use of the things that I've made and the things that I guess I will make as I decide to plan things. But yeah, I basically, as I've been going around with ideas, and as I probably will be, you know, blocking out level stuff, I keep going back to this almost motto that I'm now having with my level planning and all that, which basically, like, how can this be more fun? With whatever I've designed at the moment, it's like, what can I change? What can I improve? Whatever. With what? Well, I mean, while it's just planning, it's all in my head at the moment. So it's like, how can I make these ideas, you know, actually executing gameplay more fun, more enjoyable, more, yeah, fun. And that's kind of, yeah, what I'm trying to ponder with a lot of this submarine stuff and whatever. And I have ideas, and I'm hoping that they'll go well. Just got to figure out how to properly implement them down to the nitty gritty of exact, like, rooms and corridors and exact hazards and all that fun stuff. But I definitely, it's coming along well enough. I have some cool ideas, and I yeah, will continue to hopefully make enough cool ideas until I have an actual level. So, anyways, though, I think that's it for me here. So I will, yeah, as I said, first coding challenge, success, and cool to do more of these in the future, I guess. So, yeah. But anyways, I think that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. All right, bye.